Oh, you got the little Genesis. I just have a Book of the Dead.
You know.
Yeah, for a little light reading during this episode. All right, welcome to episode 223 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and joining me this week once again for an ungodly amount of news that is literally continuing as we're trying to record. We have Steven.
E3 hype.
And Chase.
G'day.
Chase is actually joining us this week because guests did not show up randomly at his house. So I don't know if you heard we were calling you names last week.
No.
It was fun. Why not?
He's back.
It's good to have you back, though.
He's back.
We have so much shit to talk about this week because we had the PlayStation State of Play as well as the Summer Game Fest
and then, more.
Yeah, and just more stuff keeps getting announced. Right before we started recording, Steven just added another one in there, and it made it in because it was a pinball title, and I'm going to add those. He knows. But anything in from this point, we're waiting. We still got to figure out next week's schedule because I have an event Saturday night, but we have the Xbox Direct, their thing, tomorrow, and then the Gears of War E-Day right afterwards, and then rumored to be a Nintendo Direct that week. So it's just E3 season without an actual set schedule. I think that's kind of what we're dealing with. But before we get into all that, let's jump into what we've been doing because we're going to get caught up on that. And Chase, since you were absent last week, that will go on your record, young man. What were you doing?
I don't get my gold star. That's all right.
No, you don't get perfect attendance this year.
No. So I finished DK Country Returns HD.
Oh, what'd you think?
No, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I really like the addition of Dixie to the game in a way because there's actually some. Although the problem is though, is you could definitely tell the game was made like because I don't think she was in the original, right?
She was not.
Correctly. Right. Yeah, so you could definitely tell that the game was made for Diddy in a lot of cases because like having Dixie in some areas is almost like a cheat code. Just makes it like super easy in certain spots.
Which is fine. You're having fun with it.
I
love, and I don't know if you notice like how they deal with that during some of the cutscenes where like when you're going into a boss fight, if the cutscene has to have Diddy Kong, like you'll just notice really quickly, you'll see him swap out. Like they actually added animation to do that. Yeah. They'll go through the video and then swap back out again. Such a fun little touch.
So I finished that one. Now I'm on to Tropical Freeze. I'm going to play through Tropical Freeze again.
Nice.
And then I did play just for a brief bit DK64 on NSO.
How could you not?
Yeah, because that's what I was holding out for. Forza Horizon 6, I'm still keeping with it. I jump off and on. It's one of those games that's really nice because you can jump on, do a couple races, jump back off. You don't feel like pressure to like keep playing it, so to speak. So
yeah, it's a long-term game for me too. How many? Do you know what color wristband you're up to now?
Got the third one, so I
think
I did the big race against the thing, and which was done very well. I thought it was actually quite like well done, and so I'm working towards the fourth one now.
Nice.
I've done a couple races, but just man, there's quite a bit of stuff in there that can like you could just be like driving and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what's that? And then you got to turn around and like go see like, oh, it's a car for sale. How much?
Yeah, thankfully you can go on the map and hover over those and it'll tell you what kind of car it is. So if you can look at it and be like, okay, I don't even care to go look at it, but at least they can tell you. So
yeah, half the time I end up buying them anyway. But I've also done a few of the treasure car, like the treasure hunts for a few of the cars, the treasure cars. So yeah, no, I mean I'm tracking on pretty well, but it's gonna take ages to actually like finish that game completely.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the Forza games, you probably play the same way I do. I'll just go back on occasion just to continue it because, like, I played them for years just because I can just jump in and do something different.
And then I've been playing Total War Shogun 2 still, continuing that. Almost done with the campaign that I'm on, and then I'll probably actually switch over to a different Total War game. I'll probably switch over to Three Kingdoms for a little bit.
Nice.
Different game.
All right.
Different enough.
Right. Steven, what about you? What you been doing?
Well, fun fact with DK64, you can tell if it's emulated properly.
Yep.
If DK goes up and he swings on the vine, if he doesn't, it's bad emulation. So something to always look for when you're...
Apparently the Wii U version, I don't think, got it right, but then this one did.
Yeah, you can tell, you play the Wii U version, he dives off the cliff. Other than that, I finished my mobile games for now. There's no more offers currently available. And I wasn't about to play 867 levels of Solitaire, so I said, I'm not playing through that. Go away. I updated and logged into ZZZ, and I said, I promise I'll make a day for you. I'm sorry. I played, because of people making comparisons online, I played Marsupilami 2, the demo for Switch, because everybody was calling it Donkey Kong Country Returns with longer tails. Or with tails. So basically the game plays like Donkey Kong Country Returns, but with a little bit of Bionic Commando swinging around too. And I was just like, okay, I see you. It's not bad. I got addicted to this new game called Lovish because it looked to be funny. And I was like, let me try it out. And it's basically if Infernax, if you've ever played that game, and Solomon's Key had a baby, because it's just a room-by-room action game, like almost like a Shovel Knight, just quick rooms you do in an 8-bit style. But basically the story is like the party of 4 wants to save the princess, but he's just like, but what if the princess falls in love with my friends instead of me? So he drowns his friends in the moat of the bridge of the castle, and he's like, I'm going to save her by myself. And he's got a magic helmet that can make bosses fall in love with him after he defeats them. And he, after every stage, he does something random. It could be that he remembers his doctor says to remember to hydrate and drink water, and then it shows a Mega Man screen and it says, you have selective hearing. It does like all these jokes over and over again, but sometimes you get stuff where the main character's like, oh no, deja vu, and that just means you have to play the same level again. And I was like, what the hell? And then the other one where he's just like, oh no, a bunch of ghouls are coming, and then you play like a Vampire Survivor clone. Very weird, but it was a lot of fun. It's only like $12. So that's what took up my space last night as well. I did check out Among Us Episode 1, now on Paramount Plus, the whole series. I think I have to give it a few more episodes, because right now it's just not funny.
That's what I kind of assumed it might be. They're really gonna have to sell me on it. It's such a weird aspect to try and make this into a cartoon.
Like so many good voice actors, though. So
yeah, I mean, it's when you throw money around, it's amazing you can get to do it. That doesn't guarantee it's going to be good.
Yeah. And then lastly, on Monday, I went to go see the movie Backrooms, which, if you want a horror movie you need to think about and kind of like analyze, stuff, something like that. I really liked it, like how it ended. Keep in mind this was made by a 20-year-old director who just, had the game that he made, and then he's just like, I'm gonna make it into a movie. So it's fun that all these YouTubers are making actually successful or good movies. This one got some flack because people like just didn't understand it, and they just didn't want to say why they didn't like it. They just loved rage baiting and saying like, I didn't like it, worst movie of my entire life. But no, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Okay, nice. All right, so for myself, I'm still playing Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. I have gotten to the point that I've finally gotten Batgirl, so she's unlocked, and I can use her character, which is she can throw a batarang that can hack into things, and then she can fly a drone that can become a swing point, or also attack, which is kind of fun. But Jennifer's wanting to play that now, and she's also happy with the fact that there's different... When you find the red blocks that are in the levels, those unlock alternate colors that you can apply to any of the skins. So you can get a costume you want and then apply these weird effects or colors to it based on that. And there's at least one of them that turns everything pink. So Jennifer's already happy about that. That's all she wants is Batgirl all in pink. And I'm like, okay. So that's great. But one of my favorite parts going into that part of the level is they take the opening of Batman the Animated Series and recreate it pretty faithfully in Lego as the beginning of the chapter. And I was so happy. Couple jokes here and there they throw into it. And of course, there's two people on the thing doing it, not just Batman, but it's Batman and Robin, because there's always two players. But they have the bank robbery go down. They have them chasing after them, fighting on top of the rooftop, driving the car. Like all of the stuff is there. And I was just giddy as a kid, just sitting there watching that, because it has the full music too. Like they've included so much music from different movies and games in here. I'm still shocked they actually got Prince. Like you never hear Prince in a lot of stuff, and they have the whole songs in this damn game. So good on them for that. And then other thing is I went and saw Masters of the Universe today, which we talked about this last week that I'd be going. And, to prep for it last night, I watched the original 87 Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. Not as terrible as I thought. I remembered, which was great. I enjoyed it. I knew it was different. I forgot Castle Grayskull looked so fucking weird in that movie. But then, hold on a sec. Sorry, people just keep walking into here when they shouldn't be. Anyways, so yeah, I forgot how weird that Castle Grayskull looked, but that whole movie was full of stuff. But if you get a chance to watch it, I highly recommend it, because there are a ton of references in the new Masters of the Universe for that, as well as the old cartoon, as well as the old books and comics and toys. Like they did such a great job with it. Everything I wanted this movie to have or be was there. I've heard people that keep complaining about it or saying it doesn't take itself seriously or it tries to be funny. And I'm like, have you not seen He-Man? Because that is half the joke, is just the way it is.
It would have been bad if it took itself seriously.
Yeah. They have the best explanation of why everybody has weird names, which I thought was so great the way they did it. And they play it through the whole movie, which is good. They don't spend a bunch of time on Earth. That time is very quick to going through the opening, Earth, and all that stuff. And there's a nice balance to it, so nothing feels bad. Amanda, I think, described it best. She said the beats of the story kept going, and it kind of felt like a live-action episode of the cartoon, where it just kind of kept going at a nice pace, which is, I think, a compliment to that. But if you do go see it, there is one scene right after the movie, one mid-credit, and one after-credit to stay for. And then one of my favorite jokes, this doesn't tell of what it is, but not only for the music is all through there, so you hear different musical tones and things like that, but if every once in a while you might hear sound effects from the cartoon that just get thrown in there. And if you're not paying attention to it, or you might just hear it, all of a sudden I was like a little kid sitting on the carpet watching the show again, just as soon as I heard those. And the musical touches were great with a lot of the stuff they had. What else was I going with this? Basically, just absolutely fantastic movie, and everybody needs to see it. So, the one of my favorite jokes is, and some people are going to probably call this out as being terrible acting, but I get the reference. They pay attention to the backgrounds, because sometimes people are doing stupid movements like the Filmation animation, but in live action. And it's so hilarious to see it. If you realize what it is, you're like, oh, they're doing that on purpose. That's great. So I could not give it a higher regards to it. Amanda sat between Jennifer and I, and she said she laughed through the whole thing because I was reacting and oh shit, getting excited about stuff. Jennifer was getting excited about stuff, sitting in her chair, cheering stuff on as things happened. So it was really nice to walk out of there and have her be excited and happy watching this, which is probably how I was when I was little, seeing the first Masters of the Universe as my first movie I ever got to go see in a theater. I think my mom used to talk about how excited I was about that. And if she was still here, she would probably be laughing at how Jennifer's doing the same thing now. So I think that's the highest praise I can give that movie. And I really hope we get sequels or something from it. It's got a great setup for it. And yeah, just go see it. I think I've already pre-ordered the 4K because Steven, you sent that on the Discord. So we got that done immediately. So
good.
I don't want another issue with like hoppers where I'm trying to get it and it's just like, oh yeah, Sony decided not to make that many. I know this isn't Sony, but I still want it made.
It's Amazon.
Yeah. There is one self-serving Amazon joke that I was actually surprised that's all they did. And it was not bad. We laughed, but you could hear everyone in the theater going, oh. And no, it's not anybody peeing in a bottle. All right. Lastly, I showed this off earlier and I just wanted to kind of joke about it. I decided to print the Necronomicon from The Evil Dead. It's not too bad. It took 19 hours. Turned out really nicely, actually. I'm going to try doing a black wash on it to get some of the detail in there and then paint the stitches and then some of the pages just to make it look like an actual book. But I don't know. I think it turned out pretty good. So a little light reading for the damned. I'll say the damn words, whatever.
Just right on the spine, Steel Battalion Strategy Guide.
No. I think that would be even worse. Steel Battalion, that game is already difficult. All right, let's jump over to the group chat because we've only got a little bit for that, and then we have a shit ton of news to talk about. So, hey, Steven, what's in the box?
It's Snatcher Day. That's what's most important. First, I'll show my meagerly offerings, and then I'll see what's in the box. First off, yes, you saw the Lego Genesis. It is ugly as sin.
Yeah, I'm really hesitant to get it. It's only like $30, isn't it?
Weird looking Sonic TV screen you can make. Only 479 pieces, so it's going to take, I don't know, probably a commercial break to do it. Picked up the next Final Fantasy. 105 gigs needed on your hard drive on your Switch 2.
Oh my god.
Got my Ball X Pit physical, so keep that.
Oh, nice. I thought that was getting a Switch 2 release.
It got a second update, so oh my god. And then this was exclusive to the EU, but I needed to get it because I like collections of games. This is the Last Ninja Collection plus 3 bonus games. So it's got all the Amiga, Counter 64 Last Ninjas, and some of the original, they call it International Karate. But it's all from like Apple and Amiga and stuff like that.
I might need you to throw a link up to that on the Discord.
Okay. And then I used some of my mobile winnings to get 2 more of these guys. We now have her and of the Monster Hunter Stories collection. So all I need is the one on the green lizard looking thing.
Oh,
and then,
are so expensive.
And then Box Boy is not getting touched. No way.
That's why I didn't even bother. I'm like, I'm just doing North America and that's it. Because even that's becoming hard to do.
This is probably going to be 3D print heaven. Let's see.
Most of this is 3D. Actually, everything in there is 3D printed except for, I think, like one thing.
Oh, okay. Well, first we got Pixel Mario.
That's actually, pull the top off. That's a puzzle.
But
it's all 3D printed.
He's jiggling. He's a puzzle. I don't want him.
The whole cover pops off. It takes a second.
Yeah, I don't want him to fall off, so I'll leave him. Next to a game that we're going to talk about later, I'll put this next to, and that's the Atari Thimble.
I figured you'd get a kick out of that one.
I'll probably put it next to the doll I'm going to be getting soon.
You're getting that version? Jennifer doesn't even like Barbie that much, and she seems interested, so we'll see.
I'm guessing this is my PSP portal or holder, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same amount of functionality with or without it.
Sweet.
Not a big fan of the PlayStation Portal at all.
I got my Switch 2 Pro Controller holder with games.
Yeah, that slides in there. The funny thing is, when I printed 2 more for me. You should have 2 in there, by the way. I ended up taking those spacers. I needed something to put under the sound bar on my new TV, in front of my new TV, and those were the perfect height, so I just put them under there, and that's holding my sound bar up right now. 3D prints, they're great for everything.
I got Resident Evil. I can put next to all my Resident Evil stuff. Thank you for that.
That's specifically the one from Requiem, I think.
Nice. I don't know whose this is for. I'll probably give it to my wife. Because
you know exactly who that's for.
I don't even know what franchise this is from. It looks like it's probably a new game that's going to be released soon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, don't do that and let him get a hold of it, because there's a lot of sharp points, and that is stab worthy.
There's another piece.
Oh, did it come apart?
We'll get to it. Then we got the holder for the Steam controller that'll come in someday.
That thing was available so fast, and I was like, I'm just going to print it and see what happens.
We got the holsters for the Poly Mega.
There's stuff in there.
Oh, and there's more stuff in here. Ow.
I was saying, it shouldn't be. They're just like wedged in there.
Virtual
the
Boy
one and only time I've had to actually print a Benchy, and I was like, I hate printing those. I don't want it in my house. Here you go, have a boat.
Oh, like Virtual Boy and a boat. Okay.
That Virtual Boy thing is really handy, by the way.
What is it?
It clips onto the legs.
Oh, okay.
It just, oh crap, that one opened. It just clips on right here, so it keeps the legs from spreading, so it keeps this part from breaking. It just clips on right there.
Got the awesome Peach Super Nintendo World pin.
Yes.
Straight from Florida.
That part wasn't 3D printed. If I had the ability to actually print metal pins, I would be doing a lot more of that. Yeah, the ball bearing for that, even after I got it, doesn't want to stay, but it does work. So.
Okay, but it's still going to be used for my roulette of slop.
It still spins pretty well. Basically, it just pops up whatever game is in there as it goes around the circle, so you can just spin it and see what pops up.
Got some signs I asked him to do.
Yeah, those are adorable.
Those are awesome.
There should be 2 in there, and you got to hold on to the little bar across them.
Yep. One of the greatest video game movies of all time.
You now have Wing Commander on DVD.
Woo! Is it double-sided?
No.
Sometimes when I don't see artwork on it, I think it's double-sided.
If there's lettering on either side, then yeah, it's double-sided.
I got a VMU. I can do all kinds of stuff, but I have to be taught.
Yeah, I'm going to have to show you how to update that. I didn't do anything with it because I needed a memory card to do it, and I didn't have one. Plus, it got some really good updates recently anyways, so we'll get it up to get... Because this is the same one. I have it here. Great VMU, though.
This last one's really wrapped.
Yeah, I was trying to keep everything protected. Because you popped in literally the day I was trying to ship everything. You're like, hey, I have a challenge for you. Like 2 of them. And by God, I did them both. I had to learn some shit. You can't even show one of them. That's what's funny. We'll save that for later.
Yeah.
You can show the other one, though.
Yeah, these are great. So, first he had what's also in the background of his.
Yeah, my Nintendo Seal of Quality.
And then Nintendo Seal of Quality. I'm going to put this next to... I have a little section where I have my most valuable games.
Nice.
So that's going to go right next to it. But on my door, which I'm glad he made it thinner, is the Nintendo Seal of Quality. Because I already have a Nintendo thing, but I wanted to put this on my door saying, like, yeah, I made this room what it is.
That's why I made it thinner, because I figured it would be mounted to a door, and it didn't need to be that thick.
Yeah. But yes, no, thank you very much. We'll see what we can do with this thing. Maybe I'll put it on top of the toilet or something.
I'm going to let him know it's there, so he can come get it from you. By hell or high water, he's coming for it.
No, I'll let him know after the episode.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for all this stuff. I do appreciate it, and your stuff is forthcoming as well. No problem. You'll be surprised with some of it, too. I think that's everything. Yep, okay.
And I'm still printing more stuff, so as I just build up things, I'll just start shipping you stuff.
And please tell me in the comments on Discord if you hear a difference, but I have a new microphone I'm using called the Bumblebee 2.
Yeah, it's a little different, but we'll see.
They said it's miles better than the snowball, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, we'll see if it actually picks up. Like whenever I do a section, it would echo, like we'd hear it back. So I'm curious how that's going to go. All right, well, that's pretty much for group chat because we didn't play anything last week because somebody had friends.
God.
Yeah, heaven forbid, Chase, you have actual human friends. What kind of person are you?
He's like, right. I wouldn't give him that title.
They were here. I didn't say they were friends. Oh, Lord. All right, let's jump over to the PlayStation State of Play. All right, so June 2nd, we had the PlayStation State of Play, which I won't give away too much because we do our letter grade at the end, but I do have to say this is one of the better ones I've seen in a while. Like, they actually had a surprisingly good showing. Starting off with Wolverine, coming just to PS5. This is one of the first titles that they're making just for that system, not coming to PC, which a lot of people are not too happy about. Coming out September 15th, which I kind of figured we would get a release date for it, which we did. Didn't get the custom console or controllers. So
no pickle.
Yeah, I mean, no what was it, slash marks? The cut marks you figured they'd have. So at least you don't have that. The weird thing about this one, though, and I was going to ask you guys about it, the timeline apparently is one where there are no X-Men. So Wolverine is in a group that's just like Mutant X or whatever, like just or League X. And yeah, they're trying to rescue mutants across the borders and all that stuff. And this is also the same universe as the Marvel Spider-Man games. But then they were also very clear that there will be no crossover. It's just the same world. Which I guess they just wanted to try and attach the two names, even though they're not going to cross over. What was the point?
Saving it for DLC.
Yeah, who knows? Jean Grey is involved. Other X-Men characters may be represented, so we might see some other ones pop up. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Charles Xavier, or maybe we find out he died early and this is a weird timeline. I don't know. Mystique, Sabretooth, Omega Red, the Reavers, and Sentinels have been confirmed and shown. I don't think Mystique was shown, but she was mentioned by one of the developers.
Yeah, she was shown.
Oh, okay. Steven, go ahead.
I'm going to be the first to say, hearing J.D. Phoenix as the voice of Wolverine is horrible. He needs to do a better job of Wolverine because half the time you can't even understand that he's talking.
He needs to be a little gruffer with it. I'm so used to... Who was the voice actor from the animated series? Steve Bloom. Yeah, I'm used to his
Wolverine the most, and then there's the other one who's doing X-Men 97, which is the OG. Mm-hmm. And even Mark Hamill at one point did it in X2 Wolverine's Revenge.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So I was just like, you had a bunch of people to pick from, and you picked J.D. Phoenix, Mr. Liam McIntyre, who he's just like, let's go about. I'm like, all right.
You probably need to buy the PlayStation speakers. They still won't give us the price for just to hear him. It's got a special Wolverine voice mode. But so are you guys interested in this one? Like I came out of this going like it could be fun, but I'm actually a little less interested than I was before.
I'm going to pay the same price for this as I did both my Spider-Man games, $20.
Okay. Chase, what about you?
Yeah, I'll probably get it. I mean, it looks like your box standard like third-person action game now, where you're gonna be able to run around and hit enemies, do some combos. Enemies are gonna like glow a certain color depending on what attack they're gonna do, which tells you what you need to do. So, yeah.
Keep in mind, September is really stacked, as we're going to find out later.
Yeah, good God. September is way too stacked. They showed off how his healing factor works, and it did look nice while he was being damaged, but X-Men Origins X-Men Origins Wolverine, while the movie was terrible, the game was phenomenal. And how they represented the damage and how it would heal on Logan is still impressive to this day for a 360 and PS3 game. Like, it's still good. So they're kind of going that route with this. Some people were complaining, like, oh, the suit also healed. And I'm like, okay, they're not going to let him run around naked. And it didn't always heal. I think they're going to do like they did in the Spider-Man games, and they did it with the Arkham games, where as the story progresses, you'll get permanent damage to the suit until you change it, maybe. And those, story-based things won't change back. Like, you see his back get just completely shotgunned, and and everything, and his back heals, but the suit stays that way, and I think that's a story-based incident.
The deluxe edition has some pretty good suits, so you even get to be Patch. So
I'm hoping that's story-based, because I saw like a brief moment of him clawing someone in the head as Patch, and I was like, okay, that's a Magic-Core level. That's gonna be great.
The deluxe edition has like all these costumes that kind of fill in all the voids.
I'm glad they did say that when you get the deluxe edition, you're not getting exclusive suits, you're getting them early. So they're suits you can earn in the game, you just get faster access to them. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because like I would have been really upset if I couldn't get my John Byrne brown suit. Because that's peak Wolverine for me, is that one. But apparently there's also like reflective claws. Like, what do they have, like special edition ray trace claws or something? I don't know how that's going to be. Maybe they make them look like the terrible CG ones on purpose from Origins. Oh, that'd be a really funny filter to have on there. It's like shitty CG claws. So they also said you can play this through with less blood. So you can do more of a stealth kill and things like that and turn down the gore so it's not a blood spray,
so it's not Wolverine.
A bloodbath.
Okay, got it.
Well, it's more Saturday morning cartoon Wolverine than it is other Wolverines. Wolverine and Deadpool. Which I get that used to happen all the time. So, I don't know. I'm going to get it. I usually get these. They're really good at making these games, so I'm hoping it'll still be fun. And it seems like an intriguing idea. There's a lot of background characters that I noticed, which will be kind of neat to see how these versions of them go. So, we'll see. All right. Next up, we had Tokon Fighting Souls for PS5 and PC, getting an update coming August 6th. This one I was just kind of interested real quick because they showed the Knights of Doom team announced, which I guess they're going through all those. There's one more team left to show all the characters for, which has got Ghost Rider on it. So I'm guessing that's going to be like Ghost Rider, Blade, stuff like that for the Midnight Suns. But for this one, we get Dr. Doom. Sung-Won Cho is the voice actor for that. Magneto is done by James Arnold Taylor, sorry. I mixed up the letters. Happens on occasion. And I see, Steven, you had a note there to RIP for Tom Kane.
Yeah, he was always Magneto in even especially the Lego games before. So he was until X-Men 97, he's been the voice of Magneto.
Oh, wow. So I've heard him do that for a while. Green Goblin, once again, as you just mentioned a minute ago, Chase, Steve Bloom. And then Carnage by Kellen Goff.
I'm so glad he's a beefy Carnage and not like thin.
Well, they actually have him varying sizes. Like he was going, I would say over the top, but it's freaking Carnage. I mean,
Carnage is over the top.
Yeah. Carnage can be done so weirdly. I think the weirdest one is still the Spider-Man, was not Ultimate Spider-Man, but Spider-Man Unlimited. Do you guys remember that series that was after the original animated series? That version of Carnage was super weird.
Is that the one that's like set kind of in the future?
It's like a future alternate reality he gets dropped into. So he's got like the nano suit before nano suits were popular in Marvel, actually.
Yeah.
But that version of Carnage had like this giant hunchback back with like a protruding spine, and he just looked. It was like a really drawn red Vindicator from Spawn, almost. Like that's the best way I can describe his weird body shape. So I don't know. I'm still looking forward to this one. The fighting mechanics look like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I need to see about actually getting this one.
Although the villain looks weird.
That's a fighting game for you. I don't know what to tell you. How many fighting games can you think of that did not have a weird major villain of some sort?
Because like one I understood it was Onslaught. Another one I understood was Apocalypse.
This made sense.
Then they had that green goober looking thing, which was confusing, and now they have the Champion, and I'm like, all right, I guess this is Arc System Works putting their weird take on it.
Oh no, the Champion, I get him. He's one of the elders of the universe.
Oh well, he
because there's the champion, there's the collector, Lord of Chaos. That's a whole the cosmic realm pantheon for a lot of those guys.
okay because he looks like Geese Howard fell in tomato soup.
Oh yeah, no, he's drawn super weird than he normally is. But I knew who the character was because the champion was always one of the ones who made these tournaments and things. So it was really fitting that he's the one doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that actually fits because he's the same level as the collector is the bigger one everyone knows because of the Marvel movies. He's in that same level of pantheon for Marvel characters. Yeah, just drawn super dumb. All right. Next up, we had Rayman Legends Retold coming for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC on October 1st. Retail price of $40, but not a single proper physical version to be seen. Be it disc, be it cart, they're all basically an install disc. And graphically, I'm very mixed on this. It kind of feels like a downgrade to me.
Ubisoft doing the bare minimum. Thanks, Ubisoft.
I don't even know if it's the bare minimum because it feels like the older versions of it are just look better for like the hand-drawn animation style and everything versus trying to force it to 3D.
According to the PR, though, they spent all their money on Glowbox because they hired Billy West.
I mean, all right, Billy West is always fun to get, but still. Chase, you ever a fan of the Rayman series?
I used to play them back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might give it a shot if it's.
You do get Rayman
price.
Origins Enhanced as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes on sale, I might consider getting it digitally. But I already own all the previous versions of it, so I can just go play those. I mean, it won't be as portable, but I don't know. We'll see. That's the wrong sound effect I clicked.
Again.
I'm leaving it in there. I don't even care. I'm not even going to change it. I've been using the wrong sound effect too the whole time. I was supposed to use my other little sound. I don't care. Fuck it. Today's the day. Bancho the Chef coming for PS5, PC. More likely other ones to be listed to be announced for the date. You play the origin story of a side character from the game Dave the Diver named Bancho who runs a sushi bar. Steven, I'm guessing you're not a fan of that game.
Oh wow, let's play a prequel. It's not Dave the Diver. And it's cooking sim. Okay.
I mean, it seems like a kind of funny story for how they're doing it, but I don't know. I'm not super interested in it. I haven't even played Dave the Diver that much. I have it, but I haven't played it. So, who knows? Just going to keep using the sound effect. Why not? All right, next we had Kemuri for PS5 and PC coming 2027. This one looked interesting to me, but kind of flashy, and I want to see how more gameplay of it. But you play as a yokai hunter with up to 2 other players as you explore the city, tracking the creatures, then forming a contract with them to wear their powers as possession apparel to get new combat styles and more. Yeah, you do the little hand thing to look through it.
I can see dead people.
I mean, it looked really flashy, and I got to the creator is very excited about it. And
well,
I know
she's the one who made Ghostwire Tokyo as well. So
right, it could be fun. I actually could. It didn't look like every other game, which is good. Like we talked about this before. I talked to some friends, and I think we talked about it as well. So many of these games just start blending together. This one actually felt a little different. Like I could be like, okay, this is something unique that we could talk about. So it also felt like it could be a version of Monster Hunter. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of just got Monster Hunter vibes from it. It's like,
which is not a bad mechanic to take. Like if you do it right, there can be some fun games, but it's very tricky to keep that going. So next up, Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis for PS5, Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC coming February 12th, 2027. This is the second time the original Tomb Raider has been remade since the 2007 Tomb Raider anniversary, which that was all the way back on like 360 and Wii, PS3, and PC. The game is looking absolutely amazing. Like I love how it looks, but there has been some AI controversy popping up about it because they did admit they used AI in their pre-planning, and some people are kind of viewing that
up and completed by humans.
I think one of my
and we colored it in ourselves.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite descriptions somebody said is like it's saying that only the foundation was done poorly, even though your whole house is built upon it. Like So we'll have to see on that. But I don't know. Sometimes the AI is being forced by the publishers or the overheads of the developers. And I wonder if that's the case. The rest of it does look really good, but it's got that taint of it now. Jace, are you interested in Tomb Raider at all?
Not really.
No, he's interested in the next announcement.
Oh yeah, I was just going to skip that, but yeah, I would not dare. Actually, Chase, why don't you read the next one here? I know you're happy about it.
Yeah, so the next one that got announced was Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered. Not entirely sure why they call this remastered, because it almost looks more like a remake to me, but yeah. Oh, good. Was canceled for Switch 1 though, so it'll be coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC on October 1st. I think pre-orders are available.
Is this the one that has the silly dialogue too?
Yes.
Like English?
So this is the one that has this is the one back that came out in 2001. It had the really funny dialogue.
Awesome. I hope they kept that in there.
I forgot to note it, but wasn't there a particular character that was added in from Origins that you can play in here?
Yeah, so you can play as the main character of Origins in this game as well. So yeah, you've got a couple new officers that you can play as, a couple new characters you can play as, and then I think they're adding more stages. Some of them they're probably not going to be like historical stages. They're probably going to be more like the like what if scenarios. But yeah, I mean the game looks fantastic, and I'm excited for it. It got delayed. I could see why it got delayed. Like, seems like this is a good delay. Yeah, so I'm thinking like it's coming out October 1st, and I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be it's gonna be a bit crowded. But I don't necessarily think that. I mean, the Dynasty Warriors always appeals to kind of a bit of a niche market, so I don't think they have to worry about like sales getting stolen from them, so to speak.
Is there going to be a DLC, like an XL version, like they always do?
I don't know, because I don't know if they.
Do we get an Extreme Legends update?
Yeah, I don't know if they will do that, because they didn't necessarily do that for. Origins. They didn't really do that for Origins.
Well, they just do it as a digital like DLC now, don't they? They don't really release a separate version like they used to.
Yeah, because to be fair, like Origins got that big DLC, which kind of you could argue is like their Extreme Legends DLC, because that's all that. Because back in the day, like it used to be that the Extreme Legends was just a separate like disc with extra content that you'd start the main game, you'd select to add on the Extreme Legends thing, and then you put the Extreme Legends disc in. There's like a weird like workaround for it where you took the main game out, put the Extreme Legends disc in, then it would read it, and then it would give you all the content. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. It looks good.
How much time did you spend on the original version? Because I'm pretty sure you played that one.
I played through most of it. Like I played through most of the characters, and I really enjoyed it. So I couldn't honestly give you a time frame. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, you are truly our Dynasty Warriors person. We rely on you for that. Between that and Warhammer, we're like, hey, Chase.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, next up, Onimusha, Way of the Sword. PS5, Series X and S, and PC, coming September 25th. That's another September title. Demo out now for all platforms is available on, so you can go give it a try. But at least now we have a release date, because we've talked about this one a bit previously as well. After that, we had Silent Hill Townfall for PS5 and PC. We got a release date for that, which is September 24th, the day before Onimusha releases. So, what the hell, guys? Like, hopefully you don't like Onimusha and Silent Hill and other stuff that's coming out.
I imagine a lot of these games are going to get delayed. We're probably going to see quite a few delays.
No, nobody dares really do it the rest of the year. Not with GTA 6. Nope.
I'm going to laugh my ass off if GTA 6 gets delayed again and everyone's having to scramble to fill a spot of nothing.
I'm wondering if it's going to get delayed, like, as in delayed to next year, like beginning of next year or something. Like,
because they said
GTA,
They said they're going to do a
So
heavy advertising push this whole summer as part of showing you the release date finally. So I was like, I'll be waiting.
we'll see. Are we gonna have someone come on stage and show a tattoo again?
So otherwise, if all these people come out at the same time like this, it's gonna be a bloodbath, and nobody's gonna sell well at all.
Because this has already happened. Like people were planning around GTA's previous release, which was supposed to be like over a year ago, and all the stuff got moved around. And they're like, "Oh, we're delayed," and then that caused another shuffle. And it's like, the more they keep moving around, they're just pushing the entire game media away from them.
That's
terrible.
That's the respect it commands, though. It's pretty impressive in its own way.
That's terrifying. So we'll see. Afterwards, we had Ace Combat Wings of Theve coming out for PS5, Series X and S, and PC on October 2nd. I have some fun with the Ace Combat games, so I'm interested in trying this one
really
out.
like them now that they have story involved.
Yeah, they tried to before, but this is more cinematic. A fun thing is, though, if you're getting a digital copy of it, you actually get, if you pre-order it, you get a digital copy of Ace Combat Zero, the Balkan War, as a pre-order bonus. So
early physicals will have it too.
Oh, okay, good. I was curious about that. Because this Ace Combat's usually pretty good about releasing physical copies, so I've been getting a lot of those over the years.
Been sold out everywhere already.
I'm not even surprised. But what I am surprised about is this next one. Stuntman Hollywood for PS5, Series X and S, PC. We don't know the date it's coming out, but it's kind of great. Like, did you guys play Stuntman back in the day on like PS2 and Xbox and stuff? Steven?
Yeah, I absolutely hated it.
Well, guess what? Jeremy loved it. The tradition continues.
It was just, I hate when they have
anything I like. I know, we know.
I hate strict failures. So when they're like, we need you to go through the window and then do a 360, and because I did like a 270, they'd be like, fail. And I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah, that you're not wrong. I'm hoping now if they do stick with some of that, there's a faster restart, because I think that was the problem. You had to reload every.
I hope it's more like take down this car or the movies failed.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, the checkpoints in that game were not very forgiving.
No, they weren't. I never said it was an easy game. I just said some of it was fun. It was great for cheat codes. But now when you're playing it, there's a whole bunch of actual licensed movies that you're playing through, which I think is a great idea. So far we know of Fast and the Furious, Knight Rider, Miami Vice, Back to the Future, Death Race, and then for some reason they could not show this for legal reasons during the trailer. I don't know why, but Jurassic Park is in there as well. I'm guessing maybe you're running from the T-Rex. I can't really think of too many instances where you're having to drive other than like Jurassic Park 2.
You have to sit in the car.
They were driving with the baby T-Rex.
You have to sit in the car until the water moves.
Just make sure it flips at the right time. But I wanted to ask, and Steven already had an answer. Chase, you can kind of think of these a little bit real quick. What other driving series would you like to see them explore if they could add any movie content to it? So I added Mad Max, Gone in 60 Seconds, Baby Driver, and then after Steven and I were talking about this before the show, Maximum Overdrive, the Stephen King movie. Steven, what about you? What did you have?
I picked classics such as Christine, Death Proof.
That would be a good one.
Speed Racer.
That would also be a good one.
Herbie Fully Loaded, depending on which person you want to drive as. Turbo Teen. You gotta get with Turbo Teen. Come on now.
You're just being an ass.
And then if you want to watch the first episode, Heat Vision and Jack. Who wouldn't want Jack Black as a motorcycle?
Yes, because we just need more Owen Wilson with Jack Black as a motorcycle. Yeah, wow. I know it's putting you on the spot, Chase, but any that you can think of you would like to play?
So I didn't really get put on the spot. It was more like the three that, because as soon as I read the thing, I literally, I'm not actually lying about this, I literally said Mad Max Gone in 60 Seconds, a Baby Driver, and then I look and I was like, oh yeah, that's all of Jeremy's answers. So I said, Jeremy already took my answers. I'm good. I'm not even gonna try to come up with anything else.
Those would just be so much fun to play through parts of it. Like Mad Max trying to survive the gauntlet going through the desert, and Gone in 60 Seconds is just steal a car and try and get away. Yep. And of course, Baby Driver would just be drastically crazy driving as you're doing everything. Such a great movie.
I was because like Death Race was already in there because I was like Death Race would be awesome.
I wouldn't mind the original Death Race too, just as a throwback level. Because this, I guess, is the modern one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and Taxi Driver.
You talking to me?
Is anybody else around?
Right. All right. This is another one that kind of surprised me that I'm interested in, called Ill for PS5, Series X and S, PC, coming 2027. It looks like a really crazy, gory, zombie-style horror survival shooter.
I'm skeptical what's gameplay and what's just cinema that they were showing.
It looked like they were using an engine. I mean, I'm with you. It could be hectic if it's not, but it looked like really good, like, body physics of when shooting them, which I really like. Where like you hit the guy in the face and you see his head like blow out on the side and the skin's flapping down. And I was like, we're at a point that can realistically be done. Resident Evil has gotten really good at it, so I could see this being potentially kind of fun. I don't know anything else about it, so it's just strictly of, oh, this could be a fun shooter. And it kind of reminded me of like a version of Condemned. If you can kind of see that with the spooky nature of it, just more gun heavy than Condemned, because Condemned was mostly hand to hand or picking up stuff and hitting people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that other game that came out, Total Chaos, is like that.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It caught my interest for that, and I thought it would be kind of a fun one. Next, we got a release date finally for Control Resonant, coming for PS5, Series X and S, and PC, which is September 24th. I'm actually more excited to try this after this trailer and reveal than I was before. I think it's a little more promising on what they had. I kind of wish this had been the original reveal. I think I would have been more excited for it ahead of time. Like, I love Control. I'm glad, some people pushed me to play that and actually get through it, because I really liked it. And I was worried how this game was looking to be going. And this kind of alleviated a lot of that for me, because it feels more like an actual normal Control game with just some extra stuff. I'm guessing, Steven, you're not really interested in this one.
No, Alan May Wake or Devil May Cry.
You didn't like Control or Alan Wake, did you?
Never played either of them.
Really?
But because so far the Control universe for me
it's
is
not Firebreak. Don't hold it to that shit.
Firebreak.
Oh my god.
So it's disgusting.
I'm just gonna start judging Snatcher on SD Snatcher and let you deal with that.
So that's a good game.
I thought you didn't like that one.
But yeah, I was just like, I already played DMC, and this is just Control's version of it, and I'm not excited. I told Christian to report back.
I know he's on my side with this one. He liked Control as well. Chase, any interest from you? Or is this trailer any better or worse than the last one?
I mean, I think the trailer is definitely a better trailer, but
yeah.
I don't think the original couple reveals that they've done has done it any justice, but I don't know, man. I've never actually played the Control games, so I don't actually really have anything to go off of. I've never played the Alan Wake games either. They look interesting. Like, I know the story. I watched somebody play the first one, so like I know the story of the first one, but I don't really. Yeah, it's just never really been my thing.
That's fair. I mean, Control and Alan Wake are technically tied with each other story-wise, but they're very different mechanically. Very differently. Because you've got Alan Wake, which is using light with your flashlight and having to manage the batteries and stuff while you're trying to survive, and that's the only way to hurt the enemies, to get them in a state where you can kill them. And then Control is just, you're finding out what it's like to take acid, probably, just playing that as you're flying all around and going through absolute insanity with fun shooting mechanics. I'll give it that. So, all right. Next, we had Until Dawn 2 for PS5, 2027. Everyone can live, everyone can die. Apparently, in the earlier games, I guess you couldn't kill everybody, and not everybody would guarantee to be survived. So now you can have a complete success or a complete failure, which is kind of neat. Go ahead, Chase. Or Steven, sorry.
Everybody can die, always. That's always been a thing of Until Dawn, because the controller that you're supposed to hold in your hands in the first one, betrayed me and killed off pretty much everybody. And,
okay.
And made for a weird ending.
Yeah, I freaking hated those ones where it would be like, hold the controller perfectly still, and then like you could
So I put it on a tray, and they'd be like, "That's not what we meant," and they'd kill the person. So I'm like, "Thank you." I'm a little. The reason why I gave both is I was really excited that it's Until Dawn 2. And even seeing Asterion from Baldur's Gate 3 being one of the guys who's the creeper in there. So I was like, okay. But then I was just like, I don't know about this developer because it's not super massive because they worked on Directive 8020. Thankfully, it's not the ones who did the Until Dawn remake because that was bad. And it's basically Fire Sprite. It's a company that just did VR games. So I was just like, please don't screw this up.
Yeah, because Until Dawn, that started on PS4?
Started on PS4, and it was made by Supermassive, who, when you see that name, for me, that's like Rebellion. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a great murder game.
It's kind of funny. The only Until Dawn I have, it was Rush of Blood, which was the VR game, which was fantastic, by the way, as an actual VR shooter.
Good.
It was like one of the better I would say twin stick, but like twin gun arcade style shooters. But I've never really messed with the normal Until Dawn series. I don't know why it never really seemed to click with me to try it.
Because they even have the spin-off too, Inpatient. That's VR only as well.
Oh, I played that one too. That was creepy as hell. I love that game. Like I said, PlayStation 4 VR may not have been technically as good, but I think their content and the way they handled it was so much better than they've done with VR2. I really enjoyed it. I still play it. So they just needed better controllers. So I guess, Chase, you've played the Until Dawn games before?
I haven't played Until Dawn. Closest games I played to that is the Dark Pictures Anthology, which is similar, very similar.
Okay.
I've also played Heavy Rain, which is similar in some ways. Back on PS3. But yeah, because I'm trying to remember, because I think in Until Dawn, like, everybody could survive, but the problem was as the story gone on, if nobody had died yet, it got really, really hard to keep people alive.
Gotcha.
The guy who makes a reappearance in the trailer, he makes you say things of who do you care about, who do you not care about, in terms of like how do you feel about them, and every so often, unless you really know how to get out of it, he gives you a choice where somebody has to die. Or it's just like, does this person die or this person die? And it's because you said those things, but you don't know that until the end that you said this to the guy who's controlling the narrative, basically.
Yeah, because they showed, as we knew in the previous ones, and they've done in other games, like you can make snap decisions and see how those play out. And the example they gave was the lady running to the cliff, and you can either jump off by yourself or you can push the other guy that's there to go with you. And I love the fact that they show her push him and you watch him fall and he just slams into that rock. They don't even cut. He just splatters on it and she falls in the water, and it's like, oh shit. Okay. Like this is going to be gory. And I guess that's pretty standard for this series from what I've seen.
Yeah. The first Until Dawn dealt with syringes a lot.
Okay, I'm out. That's probably why I never played it. I remember watching Saw 2. Like, I saw the first one, and then I saw Saw 2, and then she shoved her hand in there with the needles, and I went, all right, I'm out. I don't need to watch any more of this shit. I don't need to watch this series anymore. And people were like, oh, we got this movie called Hostel. It's even worse. I was like, no.
Oh, we have a worse one coming out called Ice Cream Man.
And I love zombie and horror movies, but like body horror really bothers me.
Yeah, I watched D. Snyder's Strangeland, and
it's like Evil Dead.
That is piercing body horror.
Like Evil Dead, I love the Evil Dead. I've always enjoyed them.
Yeah, that one was the hardest watch I've ever had. Now I'm like, no body horror.
Oh, Lord, but so as much as I love Evil Dead, I was gonna watch the newer movie that came out, and I just saw the one scene where she's like cutting her tongue in half, and I went, nah, I'm good. This does not look like, I don't mind some blood and guts, but I was like, at least those movies were funny. This looks torturous, and I don't need to watch that.
Yeah,
I've seen enough actual body horror in real life.
That Evil Dead remake was one of the few movies. Actually, it was the only movie that I've actually got up out of the middle of and left.
Really?
So just like I was like, nah, I'm good.
It felt so out of place between any of the other media around Evil Dead or Army of Darkness. Like nothing seemed to fit.
Yeah, it's also because I should have known better. Because as soon as I saw the director, I should have known better. Because
is he famous for that stuff?
Sam Raimi, I think, is who it was, wasn't it?
No, Sam Raimi was the original Evil Dead and Army of Darkness.
No, this is somebody different then, I think. That
did
the other one, and it was like,
Sam Raimi does good horror. I like his kind of horror because he mixes some levity in there, and it's really funny as well. So, yeah, got a whole discussion going there. I didn't think we could get into about horror. Awesome. All right. Speaking of horror, let's dive into the online responses to our next game here. So, God of War Laufey coming for PS5 with date to be decided, but they did kind of say it's later this year. I like the idea behind this. I think this is going to be a fun side story to the actual God of War games. Basically, this takes place after Kratos' second wife, Laufey or Faye, her death and burning during 2018 God of War's beginning. What? I said
no, we're holding our tongues.
Yep.
Oh, Lord. But after, her body is burned, she wakes up in the afterlife of the gods and is having to deal with that. And I think my favorite description of it was like, I'd posted it in the Discord and the memes that somebody had put in there. And it's like, Kratos is like, rest in peace, my wife. And then it just shows like the dude from Doom 2016, like fighting in hell because everything's going bad. And so she's having to fight, and I thought the fights were really good. She's dealing with other gods of different regions that are there, which I like the context behind that because she may have to deal with the fallout of her husband's bullshit because he's put a lot of gods there probably because all the Greek ones, he killed almost all of those, and he went and killed a bunch of other ones too, though that was later in the games. They might show up depending on how time works. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. What's your initial concern here? Because I am happy for this, which means Steven's going to hate it. I'm fine with that. But Chase, maybe you can have some reason here.
You go first, Chase.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know, man. Like to be fair, I haven't played any of the new God of War games. I'm probably not going to start here, and I'm just holding out for the trilogy remake, and I really hope they don't fuck that up.
Okay, Steven, have you played the new God of Wars?
Played the first one, I didn't play Ragnarok.
Okay. His wife, it's not a surprise that she is a warrior. She is part giant. That's already been said.
That's not my complaint.
The axe that Kratos uses was hers. She beat some ass with that thing. She ran into other gods that thought she was badass, and like Thor was interested in her. And, they were poking at Kratos going like, oh, she chose your tiny ass. Like, she was known for beating the shit out of people and doing this stuff and fighting. So her having that ability for combat, there's a reason Kratos married this woman. She's got to put up with some shit. So it shouldn't be a surprise that she can fight. And I'm kind of curious where that exploration is going to go. That's part of the arguments I've seen. So I'm curious. I'm glad that's not the issue you guys have. I didn't expect you to, but I'm curious to hear what your issue is because maybe it's something I'm not seeing. Look, so Chase or Steven, explain.
I'm just going to say before he does the rest is, look, I loved playing Grace in Resident Evil Requiem, and I love playing Claire Redfield in Resident Evil games, and I will always pick the female when it makes sense. Go ahead, Chase.
If I'm playing a God of War game, I want to play as fucking Kratos.
Kratos was not always the God of War, though. That's the thing. That's like saying, I played Halo Reach. You don't play as Master Chief. And that was an absolutely fucking fantastic game where you played as a bunch of different people. Actually, you played as one with a bunch of other people. Halo ODST. Really love that. Don't play as Master Chief. A series can be beyond having that name. Resident Evil you talked about, that's not sticking to just the main ones you had from the first game. That expanded and changed other people. it's just kind of viewed as a side story, expanding that out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a spin-off. Like, I get it, but I don't know. I'm just just
And I
feels
think
weird.
Okay.
I don't see it. I like, once again, I'm really glad you guys are not liking it for the same reasons that I've seen from others, and I never expected either of you to be that way. So that's awesome.
There's two sides to the coin. There's the Mary Sue side, and then there's the series.
Yeah, you have legitimate concerns, not your shitty people.
And, it's been a long fucking time before I played it.
Mm-hmm.
Before I played 2018, it's been 8 years. So, a lot of stuff's fuzzy, and a lot of stuff I'm getting covered in by people who are currently playing it or have just finished it.
Mm-hmm.
And my few problems I have with it, but the few are big, is I don't understand why they wanted to do this when you had an established franchise that uses everything she does, called Heavenly Sword, and now Heavenly Sword is just thrown away.
But that's not.
And I know it's because
they don't have control of that
studio now, but still, they could have built even upon that. Second off, Huey / Frank, the gelatinous cube voiced by Jack Quaid, is going to get annoyed. He's going to get annoyed really quick because he's just bouncing around saying, "I'll take care of him," and he's jumping on everybody to dissolve them. So I was like, nobody likes the cube so far.
I love the cube. That's fucking hilarious to me, because I don't think that's going to be the permanent thing of them.
Tiresome, but besides that, as some people pointed out, it completely invalidates everything Kratos did in God of War 2018, because it just says like, "Fuck everything you did, Kratos. She's always been alive. She's just paying for it now in the afterlife, trying to escape again."
Well, she's not. It's experiencing someone in the afterlife, I don't think, is invalidating of being alive, because they're not alive. You are in this other state, and they've already shown in God of War games that there are different states of existence with them, be it with the gods or the afterlife, and things like that. He put her to rest, as they do. She even realized that she had been put into the funeral pyre and was trying to figure out where she woke up in that next phase of existence, which, depending on what religion and so forth, can happen. And with a lot of those, you're going to the next life of Valhalla or wherever else. So there is supposed to be something afterwards. So it's interesting to explore that, and the fact that it's also dealing with what happens to the gods when they die.
I don't usually agree with this guy, but this is
don't agree with him, because God, he is such a fucking ass about this.
This is one of the first few times I will agree with David Jaffe, the creator. That it's just a cash grab for fantasy right now, and it's unnecessary.
I don't see it as that. I mean, all right, so all you know about is that we're having this other character, which is tied with Kratos, with how they're exploring that. We don't know the time period this takes place over. Yeah, it starts at the point of when she is put into the pyre, but it could cover the entire timeline of the two games, dealing with the effects of going back and forth, because you slaughter some gods in the other ones too, and they could be affected going over or back and forth. We don't know. I don't know. I'm hopeful for it. Like, it's the first trailer and reveal of it, and people are just like immediately going, "Well, this is different. I don't like it." And it just seems kind of weird, because we've had so many other games that have tried and done really good jobs with characters outside the normal one. And you explore and you're like, cool, I've seen a new side of this story, or a new part of this. And it's not saying there's never going to be a God of War. They were like, yeah, we're going to make more God of Wars. This is just a side story that they're exploring.
I don't know. It's in development, so they've got time to fix the problems.
But the problem you seem to be having is just that it's her.
And Frank.
So if you see a trailer, you immediately assume whatever that trailer is going to be what the game is forever. Characters never change. Nothing ever gets better.
Kratos isn't allowed to be by himself anymore.
Kratos has never been by himself.
He's Captain Caveman and Son.
He was by himself in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
He's still surrounded by other people or dealing with stuff. That's what I'm saying.
He's by himself in the true God of War trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, because Yeah, I never played the newer ones because I didn't really like how they changed it. I didn't really like that
They're
they went to this
absolutely
whole.
amazing for combat and stuff too. It's not like you're just sitting there walking around. Like there is some serious fucking combat in those games.
Yeah, I just don't need my God of War to look like The Last of Us. I don't need like The Last of Us Skyrim engine. Though that was, I just thought it was a weird change, like tonal change. But it's because they. But I also kind of accept the fact that it was a tonal change because they're changing the aesthetic being in Norse
Well, it's
as
Norse
well.
and also him trying to finally get away from that life of just everything dying around him and his anger and hatred, and
Because the new
it's
one
just a
seems to be
person
pulling
changing over
from.
time. That's why he has to put the chaos blades away, trying to
Yeah, the
he
new one
can't
seems to be
separate from
pulling,
them. But
according to some people, Chris was asking about who knew the imagery. It seems to
Mhm.
be pulling from like Hindu and Indian mythology, but I don't know.
Well, the new one's pulling from a bunch of them. That's the thing. Is like there was Egyptian, there was Chinese, there was Hindu, there was. It's basically this is an entire afterlife of gods. So all these different religions over time, as their gods fade out or Kratos has dealt with them, uh, they seem to be ending up here and fighting amongst themselves. And I'm very curious to see kind of where that goes. Like I see so much potential in where this story could lead, and how that plays out. Because I mean, there's even places of like times that Kratos died and came back. Like, does he have some effect with that as well? Like, how is that going to play in there? They already showed images of him kind of popping up, both for her trying to figure out what's up with her powers or what's going on with everything, with her magic, and him showing up. So like, it's not like he's not going to be there at all. It's just an interesting perspective of that character and how they're following that story.
We'll see, but I've had a stigma for God of War since 2018.
I've really enjoyed it, so I guess that makes sense. I don't want the same goddamn thing over again. We had 4 fucking God of War games that were the same button mashing, swinging around, trying to be a big, strong man having sex with people. We
Yeah, there's
actually had
nothing wrong with
growth,
that. It was great.
but I don't want to do it every fucking time.
Yeah,
That's
but I
all
mean,
David Jaffe wants because that's all he fucking understands, that
They
asshole.
made they made like 10 or 11 Leisure Suit Larrys, and that's the same thing.
And they don't ever really talk about it anymore, and it got boring.
There's
And
two
then
new
they also
ones.
tried other ones with that. They made a 3D one. They made point and click. They made, you know, other different types of it. Like they tried different mechanics. They tried different characters. They were not always Leisure Suit Larry. Sometimes they were family members or other people, and you would watch how they explored it. So your example just showed the same goddamn thing. So yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
rest in
it's
peace,
fun.
Kratos.
Yep.
I don't know. You give up on stuff way too fast, I think. Like we know very little about it other than one trailer, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna fail.
No,
Fuck it."
no, I get what Chase was saying though. I'm sick of all of their titles basically playing in the same format, and there's a reason that recently they said their first party titles are failing and failing to meet sales expectations and selling less and less, and it's because
Did you want her to be a text
whether you would
adventure? Were you
agree with
expecting
Chase
it to be
or
a
not,
point and click?
whether you agree with Chase or not, when Chase is saying that he believes that it's making God of War look like Last of Us, there are other people out there who are going to say the same thing. Yes, you're going to
I
say,
get
well,
that. Yeah.
you should try it first, but there's some people who are just like they're going to take it at face value and be like, no, no, that's it.
And I think part of that's because they keep rehashing The Last of Us, but like God of War was coming out when not all of those were out. Like it was just being made as its own
Yeah,
thing.
and then those
One's a
aspects,
direct sequel to it, and this is
it's
tied to it.
it's
So
Sony's own undoing. Sony.
would you have been happy if she woke up in a cart and it was like kart racing? Like I don't get it. Like how different should it have
Sony
been?
bugged this
It's got
rule.
nothing to do with that. It's more.
Well,
of
I'm
the
saying
fact
like
that-
how can the game be tied to it, but you want it to be different? Like that's part of the series. So I'm kind of she's not going to go back and play like Kratos because she's not Kratos. And we don't know
No,
all the
no.
mechanics of this one, but it's
No,
going to
she's
be
what's her
walking
name
around
from Heavenly
exploring.
Sword instead. She's that character.
I think that personally for me, I think that the original trilogy and even the PSP games were really good.
Oh, they were, and I love them. I still have them and play them. Don't get me wrong on that one.
Personally, I would have been happy if that's how the series would have, because I don't need the series to
but
change.
You're getting those. You're getting those again.
Well, maybe.
So
we'll see.
What do you mean maybe? They've already announced it and showed it.
Don't fuck it up, Sony. All we saw was a title. We just saw God of War Trilogy Remake. We don't know if they're changing how they
already said it is just a remake of those games, and that's what you're getting. So, I mean,
I hope so.
Why can't you have both? That's the thing. Like, this is continuing that series, and you're getting the other.
They remastered Rayman Legends, and look how it looks. So
true, but that still didn't stop other Raymans from coming out.
It's in development right now, so we've made.
I'm not saying that like other people can't enjoy those games, because this is just my personal preference. I really like the originals. I don't really like the changes they made personally. I didn't like the look of it. I just didn't like the feel of it. I don't, because like I don't need everything to be like, like in our tour ship type game where it all looks like, The Last of Us, or like, the camera over the shoulder, and I don't need it to. And I don't need everything to have like some super deep story either. Sometimes I just want a game where I can just run around and murder the fuck out of everything. Doom 2016 is a great example, like where you literally the computer's trying to tell you the story, and Doom guy just throws the computer to the side.
And that was a fun part of that, but that was also part of the story, which ended up leading into the other two, which also continued that and kind of.
Well, the reason Doom the Dark Ages didn't do as well as the other two is there's too much story.
I don't know. It just sounds like we can't have anything different. We only want the same thing, and you're getting that, but even that's not good enough.
We are getting the same thing. We wanted something different,
but you're getting something different, and you're getting what you want. That's what I don't get. You're basically saying like this game should not exist. We only want the same thing again. So go buy a fucking PS3 and play the HD edition of that, and while you wait for the new HD edition.
Why does it have to have the crutch of God of War? Why can't it just be like Legends of Laufey?
Because it's his fucking wife. That's the series. They have the name. Every Resident Evil says Resident Evil. It's part of the series, but that is part of what it is. God of War was not always Kratos for most of the series. He was only the God of War for one fucking game. He's the ex-God of War afterwards. He has it on his resume, but he's no longer the God of War. They took that shit back after they beat his ass, and he quit. So that's why I'm like...
That was only administrative.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, technically the first one, he wasn't the God of War, but that's just the name that the series went with.
Yeah, so I mean,
that's what's always stuck.
That's like The Last of Us is saying like, well, they could only have one person. They said it was the last. Oh wait, there's more characters? That's not right. He wasn't the last.
I know.
I'm just saying that's just a weird way of doing the name.
The title was never the issue with this whole thing, though.
Like, well, you were saying it shouldn't be called God of War, but it's like it ties it to the series. If you don't don't have that as part of the name, that's kind of weird.
I get what Swan's saying though. Like instead of God of War, like another good example.
Like Mega Man. How many Mega Man games don't actually have Mega Man in them? Like the whole XY series and shit.
Yeah, but like my point, and I think I get what Swan's saying is because, for instance, like Shinoa's played Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to play the fucking game because I'm like, there's nothing about assassins that screams Vikings, or the other way around. Nothing about
there was too much.
There's nothing about Vikings that scream assassins, like, and but what's happened is that somebody's probably said like in some Ubisoft meeting room, been like, hey, I got this really good idea for like this game about like the Vikings that come over to England, and like they'll have these really cool siege mechanics and everything, and then Ubisoft's like, that's great, put an Assassin's Creed game, and it's like it could have been its own game. Like just
this still feels more thought out than that though. It's not like we're randomly going off to like, you're not playing as the actual cube, like that's just kind of, and we have no idea where that's going to go. It's an interesting little weird thing. I love, somebody wrote in there that gamers are complaining they want, if they have a woman character, there needs to be jiggle physics, and they're like, haha, you never said it had to be the same character. So they put all the jiggle physics
that's the
in the cube. And
that's
then
the only thing I have an issue with too is like people, you tread water when you say you don't necessarily like certain games, just because then people come at you with like, oh, you just don't like it because of this, and it's like, come on.
Oh no, I didn't mean anything about that. I just thought it was kind of funny. I really liked someone's response when they said that. I was like, okay, I get that. That's kind of funny.
That is funny, actually.
I like the gameplay
Yeah.
of God of War and Last of Us, but I don't like where it is. I like Resident Evil having that type of gameplay. I like Silent Hill having that gameplay. I don't like God of War or Last of Us having that gameplay.
A lot of people didn't like some of the Resident Evil games because they said it wasn't Resident Evil anymore. So, like, people can...
I'd be the first to say that.
People argued that about, like, you know...
In my opinion, 7 was a bastardization to just get people pulled into the horror aspect. And then 8, they rectified it by putting back in third person, but it was very clunky. And then 9, they realized where all the sales would go, and that would be 1, yes, to bring back a character we knew, but 2, more importantly, was to just return us to what we're familiar with.
But they still gave you the option. I still played all of Grace's parts in first person because that's even what the developers recommended.
Options
and
are
then
great.
Leon's in third. Yeah, no, I agree.
Options are great.
But like RE7, I loved that game because I did like that they were trying something different and that they were like, I played that entire game in VR. Like, it is made for that in such a great way because it made it so immersive and fucking terrifying to play, honestly. When that dude's hunting you in the house and you're literally leaning over to peek through a side door, I'm like, fuck this. And I get it. I completely understand that it would be off-putting for some people because not everyone's going to like that position. And I agree, you know, options are a thing, but sometimes you can't really get the options if you're trying to go for something. If you homogenize everything, then you do end up with everything being the same game because you can't do anything different if you all require the exact same stuff. So options are great when they're available, like when you can realistically use them. And I think RE9 was good about having that option. You know, I could play it the way they recommended, but then I can go back and play it the way I prefer. You can play it the way you prefer, and we're all happy. Unless I'm happy, then you're upset, Steven.
Listen, you can be in your little cube and enjoy it all you want.
I like my GameCube.
Say hi to Jack Quaid.
Yeah, it's the Boimler scream. I just need to get that in there at least once. I don't know who voiced the sword, though. I didn't see that.
Nobody cares.
I do. I'm curious to where it goes.
No, there's a Meet the Cast trailer you can watch. That shows
yeah, there's other characters that are introduced, and I'm curious to see what they're going to actually entail. I don't think his character is going to stay a cube the whole time. I think there's a particular reason for that, and I thought it was kind of funny.
I want to be a real boy.
I don't know if this is the thing for gods. What is he a god of? Like, is it gelatin? Like, I don't know. It's like, I'm the god of Jello. It's like, oh shit.
Oh, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, nobody eat after him. And then something's up with the sword. Apparently that's cursed with the ribbons and stuff. I don't know. We'll have to see. Which, I mean, you were saying that's the same as the other stuff, but they're all pulling from the same myths. Like that mythology and those things of the ribbons and so forth already existed in other mythologies. So that makes sense why they're going to be here. But
just pick a lane, Sony. Pick a lane. That's all.
I'm curious to see where it is. But Laufey or Fea, however they pronounce it, is portrayed in game and voiced by Deborah Ann Wool, who is in Daredevil and True Blood, and I believe she also did show up in the previous God of Wars in flashback. So it's not like they've cast a new person for this. So that's shown up. So yeah, like I said, my biggest thing is I want to see where the story goes if she's having to deal with that aftermath of what Kratos has done previously in those games. Because he has sent a lot of gods to their death. My favorite still being when you can just sit there and just punch the living shit out of Zeus for as long as you feel like pressing the button in God of War 3. I sat there for a while wondering if something happened.
Yeah, my screen became blood red. I couldn't see a thing.
Yeah, I couldn't see a goddamn thing.
Because I was like, what's going to happen? And I just kept happening and waiting and just went for a while. So, I don't know.
One of my other favorite ones was Poseidon, like at the beginning of 3. Because like then you saw it from like his angle and you're like, oh no. As soon as you saw the thumbs, you were like, no.
Yeah. I thought what was it? How did he kill Hercules? I'm trying to remember because that was pretty brutal.
Oh, that was...
Because Hercules, he fucked up.
He took his gloves off of him and then he just beat the crap out of him with his own gloves.
Yeah, so we'll see where this goes. I'm kind of curious. I cannot in good conscience agree with David Jaffe at all because he's a fucking hateful asshole. I don't give a shit. So
yeah, he's
yeah.
had his moments for sure.
He's had his moments, and then he just went off the fucking deep end. He gets upset about most things. Like, he gets upset at Metroid. Fucking Samus being in there. So, weird choices. All right, let's jump over to our last little bit here. All right, so thoughts about the state of play and our letter grades. So, once again, we'll kind of grade how we think this all went. Steven, we'll start with you.
I will preface by saying that they reported this was the most watched and most successful state of play in their company history, so that does say a lot. And I think because of the mix of things they put together, I would probably give this a solid A, which usually it's a state of dismay, but not this time.
Yeah. Chase, what about you?
Yeah, I'll still give it an A. I mean, like, I think the last state of play that was it the last one or 2 ones ago where they had a really banger one too, and I gave that a A as well. So they've had a couple really good ones now. Not everything has to be for me. I totally accept that. So I still give it an A.
Right. I have to stick with an A as well. This is a AAA state of play for once.
Yeah. AAA state of play.
I'm excited for multiple games. I actually want to try out and play some of them not on my PlayStation, but there's a few reasons I actually want to turn on my PlayStation and play some of these titles, which that's huge because I'm not well known for playing that many PlayStation games. I have a very small collection for my PS5. It has been literally months. Or I'm sorry, not months. I turned it on whenever I set up the new entertainment center to make sure I plugged it in correctly. And that's been the last time I turned it on.
I didn't even turn on. Beep. Okay, yep, you're good.
I have to keep checking the controllers because either the controllers and the system have to update and are they charged? Like it takes a while for me to play a PlayStation. I don't know. It's just how I have
check
everything
those
set up.
batteries in your controllers because those things, I only get like 15 minutes out of mine now. The batteries just absolutely went to shit.
Oh, mine are still basically brand new. They haven't been used.
Yeah, mine die every other day.
Yeah, I need to swap mine out because I can't even get like hardly 15 minutes out of them now. It's really bad.
Yeah, they're not crazy difficult to swap out, but it requires a little bit of soldering and opening up the cases of them and stuff. It's a bit of a pain.
Does it? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I thought it was just like you popped them open and just unplugged the battery, plug the new one back in.
Yeah, okay. They changed it a little bit on those. I don't think you have to desolder this time. I know PS3 and PS.
Oh yeah,
some of the PS4s you had to. PS3s you definitely had to desolder. It's still you have to take apart the entire back, which those triggers make it really difficult. You have to twist it. I need to do that on one of mine and make a video kind of showing how to do it. Maybe I can help you out.
Please do, because I'm afraid I'm going to break one doing that.
Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. That's fine.
I'll show you how to solder.
Don't listen to him. Unless you just need your controller to be way heavier and not work.
I do like a heavy controller, but I just...
And I will end this by saying once again, for those listening and for the two of you here, I appreciate the fact that we can have a heated debate about something and we're all laughing about it and no one's mad. Like, just take it from me. I'm grateful for that. Also, I'm right, y'all are wrong.
I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
Oh, love it. All right, let's jump over to our other big-ass announcement setup, and that is the Summer Game Fest announcement highlights. All right, so I already know I'm happy and Steven's going to be upset because for some fucking reason he doesn't seem to like this series. Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake is coming out for PC, Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and surprisingly Switch 2. Don't you fucking change that. It's Code Veronica.
They don't call it Code, they just call it Veronica now.
Oh, okay. I kept seeing a lot of the articles still call it Code Veronica, but this is coming out in 2027. This is one of my favorite Dreamcast games coming back, and a highlight Resident Evil game for me as well that I always enjoyed playing back in the day. I remember playing this in my very first apartment I had by myself in the middle of the night. Not a great time to have done that. There was a lot of weird noises, and I was all by myself for the first time. I think the scenes and scenario they show Claire looking for Chris in Paris, I think they're filling in the story before the opening credits of the original game, which had her infiltrating and trying to escape from a Umbrella medical facility or research facility. and that's had the whole thing of the helicopter shooting and all that. Go ahead, Steven.
Fun fact: in the beginning of the trailer, when you see the car drive down the road, the cafe says Umbrella Cafe in French.
I didn't even notice that. That's great. I love little shit like that. But I think for a remake, this is kind of a fun way to expand the story or maybe change things out, because that is a whole story ahead of that, of why, when she was looking for Chris and how she ended up here, that we never really heard much about except for like little bits during the game. So I kind of like that as a way to expand it out.
Yeah,
and
this game in Zero definitely need a do-over, so it's good that it's getting a do-over.
Yeah. I never said it was perfect. I just enjoyed it and had fun with it, but it had its flaws. I'm curious
with that annoying ass dude with the guns, the gold
Yeah,
guns.
they didn't show him at all because they didn't want to ruin the.
I just want to know, is he still, if he's in the game, which he should be, they can tone him down a little bit and change him, but is he still going to be Canadian as fuck? Because good God,
like
he's so Canadian,
holding guns all the time.
Yeah, he was very DiCaprio on the Dreamcast version, and they changed that for all the other versions because they probably got some legal notices going, hey, this looks a little too much like Leo. Please stop. So, I'm not sure what other changes we could see from it. I'm sure we'll see more, because you could switch between other characters and play, but I want to see how much of this they actually follow. And I know we joke about it, Steven, but like your actual thoughts on Code Veronica. Like,
I'm excited.
Okay.
There's a do-over.
Okay. Because like we've talked about it a little bit before, but like what were your issues with the first one? I know we always joke back and forth that I enjoy it. Oh, just him?
Yeah.
No, it's her too. That's her too.
Well, it's because that was their first one moving to a 3D engine.
Having that didn't work. And they're probably not going to do a fully 3D engine again, from what I saw. It's going to be the RE engine in its beautifulness, where it's
RE engine is 3D.
And it's just the controls the story was interesting, but the controls and some of the puzzles really bogged down the game for me horribly well.
Yeah, it's definitely an older Resident Evil. Like I said, it wasn't perfect, and once you kind of understood some of it.
But Blue Stinger and Carrier over Code Veronica.
God damn. What the hell? Who hurt you?
Watch your mouth.
Blue Stinger? God dang it. Carrier we can discuss, but Blue Stinger? Like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. Chase, what about you? Any thoughts on the original Code Veronica versus this one?
So I actually haven't played the original, so in a way, I'm going to be coming into this one fresh. I
think you can get it on 360 for like what, $3 right now?
Yeah. I'll be coming to this one fresh, and then I'm sure that if I talk to say you or something like that, you could be like, oh yeah, in the original game it was actually like this, and I'll be like, oh okay, but
or just run headfirst into your wall, and that's what it'll feel like.
But to be fair though, I'm a little bit behind in my REs right now. I still need to do like RE2 remake. I still need to do RE9. Yeah, I've still got a few that I need to catch on.
So I will remind you, the best thing about playing through the remakes, especially 2, 4, and then 9, is is very unlike Capcom to do so, but they kept the same voice actor for Leon through all of it.
Oh, nice.
So if they have the same voice actor for Claire here, I'm going to be over the moon saying they did it again. Because I love when they do stuff like that, because now they're creating more of a cohesive
continuity.
Yeah.
So they can. I don't remember who voiced her in the RE2 remake, but it would be cool to see her come back for that.
Yeah. So it's very weird, especially with what's announced later. But it was very weird when you know that Mass Mercer voiced Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 6. So
that is kind of funny. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. I don't know what I'm going to get it on, but I like the fact that it's coming to Switch 2. Like,
I will fully support all of Capcom's releases on Switch 2. I don't care if it's a GameCube card, which it is.
I'll probably end up getting it on there anyways, just to have it portably. I still need to pick up RE9 on Series X as well while I can. But yeah, I've always really enjoyed this game. I've had good memories of it. Yes, I know it was janky, but so were all of the old Resident Evils. There's none of them you can go back to that did not have some ridiculous puzzle or mechanical issue, because that was just gaming at the time. And the Dreamcast, bless its heart, had issues. What was that face for, Steven?
What you just said. Hold on. Where's the game I'm looking for? It's pretty horrible. Hold on.
Well, I said Resident Evil's had issues sometimes. That was gaming back then. Had not every, they were learning new setups and stuff. Like that was the first actual 3D Resident Evil that they were making a game for. So they're kind of playing with the camera and doing stuff.
Play Umbrella Corp.
Oh, I have Umbrella Corp. I remember seeing that when it was first showed off at Comic-Con, and we played it, and then I actually got it. Yeah, I just pretend it's not a Resident Evil game. It's fun.
They killed Leon in the intro.
That was a fun little alternate, alternate history.
Yeah, what if Resident Evil games could be worse than Code Veronica? Let's see.
It could be the gun one.
The arcade. I watched somebody play the arcade game of Code Veronica. Oof.
Well, no, I'm talking about there was the one Chase was talking about, Resident Evil Gun Survivor, but you couldn't actually use a light gun. You had to use a controller, but it still played that way in the US. It was terrible.
Look up Code Veronica, the arcade game. Oof,
I didn't even know they made an arcade game.
Talk about bad controls.
I think if you just want to speedrun Resident Evil story, if you have access to a Wii, or if you can find the copies on PS3, the Umbrella Chronicles and the the Dark Side Chronicles, some of that, the two Resident Evils, they're light gun shooters, but they give you a really good synopsis run through of all the Resident Evil stories, which includes 1, 2, 0, 4, Code Veronica, and a few of the other ones. Like it was surprisingly well done.
But if you don't have that time as well, Chase, just doing the remakes is more than enough as well.
Oh, for sure.
I know the story because I've played through the games, but it's just I haven't done the remakes, and because I know they're worth playing. I just haven't caught up because I'm really bad sometimes about getting Resident Evils when I should.
That's all good. But there's another one on your list you haven't played yet coming out now, just to make it worse. All right. Next up, The Wolf Among Us 2, coming for PC, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PS5, PS4, Switch 1, and Switch 2 for 2027. This was originally announced all the way back in 2019, so glad we're finally getting this coming out. This takes place about 6 months after the end of the first game, and speaking of which, I'm just going to tie it into the same thing, Wolf Among Us Remastered, coming for PC, Xbox Series X and S, PS5, Switch 1 and 2 this holiday. So you do have a chance to play the original title.
I was so happy because, like an old woman watching Wheel of Fortune, I was yelling at the screen saying, "What about the first one?"
I was in GameStop.
The first one's old as hell. And then they're like, "Speaking of which," and I was like, "Thank you." Either include it in the game or give it to us now. And they're like, "We'll give it to you soon." I'm like, "All right."
Chase, have you ever messed with or seen The Wolf Among Us at all?
Played the first one.
Okay, so you're familiar with the comic fables that this came from?
Yep.
Okay. Great fucking series for those
really
listening and watching. Yeah, it's a great game, really good comic. The way they kind of explore how the fables characters interact and live in modern times, like really, really good. I had it on Xbox One. I think I'm going to wait to finish playing it because I was playing it when they basically shut down the studio. So I was like, well, shit, I'm never going to get a sequel. And I didn't want to keep playing it just to have a cliffhanger ending if there was one, I hate that shit. But now that I know I'm getting a second one, I'm going to play through it. But now that I know I can get it on my Switch 2, I'm going to play it on that, then play the second one. So, yay. All right, speaking of sequels, Alien Isolation 2 for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, Switch 2, and PC, with a date to be announced. This one takes place inside of a full colony, so you can actually explore inside and out to deal with a xenomorph that's on the loose. While trying to survive. It looks really, really good. The first game was absolutely phenomenal for survival horror. Funny enough, the definitive edition being the Switch release of all places.
Have you seen what happened to the price since then?
No. Price of what? The original copy or this
the original limited run Switch version?
No, I haven't. How much is it now? Because I have it already. So
let me just say, like, if you sold it, you'd be halfway to Box Boy.
holy shit, dude. I want to look this up just to see what it says on my damn app at this point now.
It is up there, and I was like, whoa.
They don't have a price for it. It just says complete in box. Interesting. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, last I checked, it was $250 to over $300. So I was like, oh, okay.
What the fuck? I'm looking now.
Now it's just like the sequel's not going to do it any favors.
Okay, first eBay one that popped up was $140. Oh my god. I'm going to hold on to that. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember buying it way back when they were like, oh, yeah, it's the most, complete edition. I was like, cool, I'll get that. And I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah. Fun fact, if you play the original Alien Isolation, a lot of those mechanics and background stuff is brought over and used in Alien Romulus, the movie that came out, which was really good. But you'll notice the phone system that they used to save the game is actually in the movie, hiding in the background. And if you see it, that's right before shit goes down. So you can kind of tell when they should be saving the game when they keep going on. And I love the fact that made it to a movie. Like, that's so great. So, yeah.
If you want the other side of the coin and you played Colonial Marines and you're like, what's something that's worse than that? Go see Prometheus. And then Chase can tell you all about how much he loved that movie.
Yeah, that was a bit rough.
I still find it funny. Colonial Marines was actually better than it should have been. They just fucked up one line of code and never fixed it. Like, people patched it and it actually ran like it was supposed to. And they're like, oh shit, this is actually fun. And that, I think, is a game that would really benefit from a remaster. Because they could fix that one issue, clean it up a little bit, re-release it, and I think people would like it a lot more. Because then it would be what they showed off, not what we got.
Because you can doesn't mean you should.
I think in this case you should, especially if you know what's wrong with it. It's like, well, this car is absolutely fantastic and fun. Too bad it's got a nail in the tire when we sold it to you. If we just gave you a new tire, this would be like a whole new car. Well, then give me the fucking tire.
It's too much work. Nope.
Yeah. I think it was like literally one line of code because they set like the intelligence to the wrong spot or something, and it just made them absolutely stupid for the aliens, and they wouldn't do what they were supposed to. I don't know. All right. Virtua Fighter Crossroads coming for PC, Series X and S, PS5 for 2027. Hey, Steven, we actually agree on this one. I'm so fucking excited for this game. Let it be foretold.
This is next-gen Shenmue with Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, and I love the way the story goes because it's so many Chinese kung fu movies cliches, and I'm here for them all day long.
Making them all legends is fantastic.
I mean, you've got the main character, Cielo Salinas, who is the character you're playing as, who introduces you to this series. He's doing underground fighting. He fucks up and wins a fight when he should have made it go longer or throw it. That put him on the bad side of the Chinese mafia. They come to try and kill him. And, you've got the standoff in the restaurant and he's starting to beat everyone's butt and they threaten to kill the girl with the knife. So he stands down, and then all of a sudden you got another, classic Virtua Fighter character show up out of nowhere, beat the living shit out of everybody. And it's just like, this is so much an old kung fu movie. Like, I'm here for this. But the game looks amazing. I'm gladly will wait for this for 2027. This is one of the games that Sega was talking about making new versions of, which I'm glad to see this one doesn't suck. We've been so worried about that. I'm still terrified of what's going to happen with Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi.
Well, and the game still uses the 3-button format, so
that was awesome. Yeah, so your combos and stuff still feel the same, which is great. So yeah, I'm really happy about it. I like the fact that we are basically getting Street Fighter VI's World Tour, but with a fixed character instead of making your own. for the exploration and the rest of the story. So I'm curious if they're going to make an arcade release of this one, which I know that's not really important for most of us, but I think every Virtua Fighter's had an arcade version because that's always been like a staple for them.
I'd be okay with a no, just because arcades are kind of dead.
Well, I think Sega still has some of their arcades, and it tends to be like a tradition where it's still there. Like Tekken got one eventually, and so forth. But the consoles, the home releases are definitely the bread and butter for it now. So they might just do that for tournament use or just to say we have it. Instead. Say what?
I'll take a Switch 2 edition instead.
I would be curious to see how this would run on Switch 2. Because like Street Fighter 6 runs amazingly well on Switch 2. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite way to play it. I'm curious how much different this one runs and how it would handle it. Because I would want to keep that frame rate is important. You have to have that 60 for fighting games. That's one of the few series I will argue it needs to be there. And I'm curious what they'd have to cut back to get a Switch 2 to do it, depending on how much they're pushing it. But I'll be there to try it. Speaking of Street Fighter, Street Fighter 6 new DLC Year 4 adds 4 new fighters coming fall of this year. We have Arjun, which is a new character. Bosch, which is the Street Fighter 6 World Tour. He was the character that was your rival. So it's kind of nice that you can play as him now, because you see him throughout the story talking shit and doing stuff. Now you actually get to fight him and use him. Yasmin, which is another new character. And then Tifa from Final Fantasy VII. Because you just have to keep putting Final Fantasy VII apparently into everything.
It was either this or Tekken, and
Square I think you're muted, Chase.
This is either them or Tekken, but for Street Fighter to get this was huge.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy is the hot thing right now.
So the just so you guys know the timing, Yasmin is for summer 2026, Arjun is for autumn 2026, Tifa will be early 2027, and Bosch will be spring 2027.
Oh, okay. So they're pushing her a little.
As of what's her name now? Ingrid. As of Ingrid, there's going to be no more World Tour added. Ingrid was the last one. Every other one now is just a character.
Okay.
Because World Tour was getting too big, too long, and that's why they made the Avatar match thing as well, to kind of get people to play with avatars and make characters just to fight each other, because World Tour was getting immense. And so they're like, in order to allow more characters to be made, we're not having World Tour modes for them anymore.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense, because Ingrid almost plays like a Darkstalker, which is insane.
Oh, wow.
And she acts exactly like Deadpool, with the fact that whenever you're see the continue screen, she counts down with you, and if you press start, she goes yoink, and she says yoink, grabs the continue and crushes it.
Oh, that's funny.
So she's amazing.
I need to get the new DLC characters. I have the ones that came with the Switch 2 release, which is still a pretty good roster. I think I was waiting for the other ones to come out and finish, and I was just going to pick those up probably when they go on sale or something.
Yeah, we did not that'll happen. Because there was a leak, and everybody thought we were definitely going to get Vega. But even Christian made a good point too. Vega's so vain. Would he even show up anymore? He's old.
Yeah, I mean he'd have that mask strapped on more so it won't come off. Don't look at me.
You'd have it welded on, saying it's permanent.
Oh Lord. All right, next up we had Gen Atlas, formerly Project Robot, for Series X and S, PS5, and PC, with the date to be announced. This is a new game from Fumito Ueda, the creator of Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. Giant world, which looks to be focused on exploration and dealing with giant mechs and other robots roaming the area. Not many other details given so far, but damn, it is pretty.
You get to kill the mechs.
Oh, are they mechs if no one drives them, or are they just giant robots?
Same thing.
Mechs you ride in, I think, is the rule of that.
Whether
Otherwise,
it's AI in there or a real person, in this day and age, it's the same thing.
Then you get kind of confusing, because Transformers are not mechs, but you can ride in them. So I don't know. I'm already bastardizing my own statement.
But no, I'm excited. I really liked Ico. I really liked The Last Guardian. Shadow of the Colossus was an acquired taste. So hopefully they make some of the aspects of climbing these giant robots easier. but having to take them down is going to be glorious. I can't wait.
I think my favorite of his old ones is Shadow of the Colossus. I always really enjoyed that one.
And
what
don't
about you,
play Last
Chase?
Guardian VR if you're have acrophobia.
Oh God, yeah. Chase, you ever play any of the old ones?
I've played Shadow of the Colossus. I played a little bit. I think I played the demo of Ico back when you used to get
Demo discs.
And I fucking loved it as a kid. And
I have a whole collection of them. Going back and exploring those, I thought about trying to make a whole video series about it because it's such a little treasure trove to find shit.
And then I never played The Last Guardian. I heard decent things about it.
I tried messing around with it, and I do have it. It was gorgeous, and it was when it worked, it was great. But getting the little bird creature's AI to work properly didn't always do what you needed.
Yeah,
so
especially if you have like Shanoa play it, it's basically it's like you're dealing with a cat the whole time because it acts like a cat.
Yeah. So, I don't. Has The Last Guardian gotten any kind of update or HD remake?
Just PS4 and VR.
Okay, yeah. So I was kind of wondering. They did have a press release that kind of explained a little bit more, and I was just going to read it. But it says, quote, "Before you lies a vast silent world. Colossal structures stretch over endless plains, deserted facilities, and an ever-changing sea. The remnants of some grand design litter the planet's surface. As you journey deeper into this strange world, a colossal robot awaits. Its overwhelming power opens paths to places once beyond reach, transforming your conception of the world. Across an endless expanse of time, the remnants of those forgotten structures or constructs begin to move once more." So I guess it's an old civilization, their giant robot, and that's what opens up new places and interacts with you as it does stuff. So it's kind of neat. But yeah, it's mech, so Steven will be very conflicted.
I did want to mention, I forgot that the people behind Virtua Fighter Crossroads,
mm-hmm.
the fact that the world building supervisor is none other than David Hayter working on that.
Oh, shit.
And they've gotten the people, and they got the scenario writer is the guy who basically did some of the newer SMT and Persona games. So they've got like a who's who of people working on that game, but David Hayter is still like, what? He's working on the story? He's working on the world building? So, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we all know him for voice acting, but he has been a good writer for like movies and other stuff before, so that's awesome.
Yeah, he did.
Nice.
He did X-Men, Watchmen, Wolves, some other stuff.
All right, this next one is, well, stranger than heaven. It has Tupac Shakur in it. What the fuck? There's some controversy about his use with the estate. Stephen, I was going to let you talk about that one. But real quick before he goes into it, Snoop Dogg came out and they talked to him, and he made a statement saying, "The Tupac estate, my son and myself, we work very closely together. So it just made sense to put him in this game. His likeness, his spirit still lived on." And it's not the only actor or musician that is being used that has died. Japanese actor Bunta Segura, who passed in 2014, is another person being added to the game after their death, which looks like most of their stuff was from the late 1960s to the early 80s, with a few things going into the 2000s. So, yeah. Stephen, you got anything about the controversy around, I guess, the legal rights of it?
Because they said the RGG Studios crafting every aspect in the close collaboration and without the use of AI, including his character design based on archival footage and photographs. And while that could be reassuring, you then looked into who's involved in Tupac's estate, and it is basically the guy who signed Tupac to his label. So he's the estate, not the sister, not the living sister.
Okay.
Just like Stan Lee, the sister sued the guy saying, "You're profiting off of him in a horrible way, and you're just doing horrible things with him, and this isn't right." And he's just doing everything for money. So that's exactly how it's working right now. So it basically the guy who's the Tupac's estate is just a rich guy making money off of his name.
I hate that we've had 2 of these stories in 2 weeks. Like, that's so depressing. Freaking Tupac Shakur, and Stan Lee, of all people. That sucks. Chase, you happy to be seeing Tupac Shakur in the game you're excited for?
Isn't Snoop Dogg in this game?
Yeah.
And his son.
Yeah, that's kind
of checks out.
Yeah, it checks out.
What's next, Biggie? Get him in there.
You heard it here first, folks. Scoop. Biggie's last boss.
Oh, God. I could see that. Oh, man. All right. Next, we had Stellar Blade Blood Rain coming 2027. No platform has been confirmed yet, but this could actually be coming to PC at the same time, as is now self-published by Shift Up instead of by Sony Interactive Entertainment, which is why the first game was on PS5 exclusively for a while before PC finally eventually released. There's been a bit of back and forth on this one. Go ahead, Steven.
And with all the companies that we hear about, be more like Shift Up. When Stellar Blade, the first one, did very well, the company bought everybody PS5 Pros. So think how much those are worth now. And then when the PC port did equally as good, they bought their whole staff who worked on it Switch 2s, as well as having a holiday bonus. So they are a good company thus far.
Nice. Yeah, the only controversy I've seen so far is the main character, and this could just be a difference of just like looking at her. Everybody thought she was like 12 to 14 years old, because the whole beginning of it, they show her, she looks very much like a small child. And then immediately they switch over to where they're following her, and like her coat is see-through. You could see her butt. And like they were doing a lot of the angles they did for Stellar Blade, which was more of an adult woman looking person.
Maybe it was just wishful thinking for people on X.
Ugh, creepy. That's the only thing I've seen so far. I don't know if they did, because wasn't Stellar Blade, the character was based off a real person?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they did that again, and it's just
I wouldn't be surprised if they
pick
didn't.
Weird choices. I don't know.
Wouldn't be surprised if they did. So it's like,
yeah, because I'm curious to see how that goes. I never played Stellar Blade. I've heard good things about it, but it's just, once again, I'd have to turn my PS5 on, and yeah, it takes me forever. Did you ever mess with this one, Chase, or the first one?
No, actually, I never played it.
It's good.
Really?
Oh, okay. Maybe
you don't need to lean into the fan service. She already does that for you.
No kidding.
There's literally just a context-sensitive button for her to lean over a pool table. But the costumes are just like, they're there like Dead or Alive is. Like, Dead or Alive is a good game, but
yeah,
they know how to make some extra cash where they need it, and so does Stellar Blade. But it's still a well-made title altogether.
It's not as blatant as Dead or Alive having a beach volleyball game.
And even because of how...
Wait, that was a fun game, right?
It was, but dear God.
Even because of how Shift Up has been acting, I was just like, I'll support you guys 100%.
I hadn't played them because I had so many other games I was playing. I never said like it
but
was.
But it's also one
game.
of those games that if anybody walks in the room, they're gonna be like, "What are you playing?" You'd be like, "It's an action game."
Why is the game room door locked? I was playing something. Leave me alone. It's like, what are you playing? Nothing. I'm just watching porn. Leave me alone. All right. Next up, we had Hot Wheels Infinite Rush for Series X and S, PS5, Switch 2, and PC coming out September 24th. Another game coming out right around the same time. A lot of Septembers. Basically, you got some Forza Horizon and my Hot Wheels again, because this is an open world game aimed more towards kids and kind of the goofier side of things, which is awesome.
Yeah, I got, maybe it's because I don't play a ton of Forza Horizon, but I got very strong San Francisco Rush and Rush 2 vibes from it. Because I was like, it's hectic. It's for everyone to just pick up and play, and it's open world like Rush was. Rush, you could drive everywhere and stuff.
Forza can be very much like that. Like there's jump tricks and things like that you can find, and stunt courses. You can make crazy stunt courses, especially in Forza 6, like or Horizon 6. That's gotten ridiculous with what you can do. But I'm perfectly fine with that because one of my favorite parts of Forza Horizon 5 was the Hot Wheels area that you could get. That was so much fun. Like, and then 4 had the Lego one. That was absolutely amazing. So seeing Hot Wheels kind of take it and do their own thing. And I like how they're building the worlds more around their play sets. Like they had the big King Kong I'm going to get sued by Nintendo or Universal. I don't know, maybe both. But
Stuntman's gonna sue you.
right, somebody. They had him, that on top of one of the buildings, and they had a lot of the big creatures and jumps and loop to loops and stuff, which seemed like a lot of fun. It looks like it's definitely aimed towards kids, but that's not a bad thing. I think that can be just as fun sometimes for a lot of stuff. But yeah, we're getting 3 big open world titles off the top of my head, which is Forza Horizon 6, Hot Wheels Infinite Rush, and then Clutch, which we talked about last week. So, yeah. Are you guys
look into this Clutch?
Yeah,
I think we're going to talk about it here in a little bit.
I think we're talking about it this week because we did not talk about it last week.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, you'll find out what Clutch is in a little bit.
Okay.
Where we can tell the future.
Okay. I'm not as good as Rachel was, okay? We could never be Rachel on that.
Now let's have some disappointing news next.
I am not disappointed in this. I'm quite happy.
I don't like who's making it.
I do, which we'll talk about.
It's going to get shut down in a week.
I'm just glad somebody's making it at all. All right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. We don't know what it's coming to or when it's coming out, but it's coming from Paramount Games Studios and Platinum Games, which Platinum Games could be really good or it could be really bad. We don't know. It can go either way. This game was announced and then canceled with THQ Nordic's Black Forest Games, so I'm at least happy we have another chance to have it come out, because I was super excited the first time, and then they killed it. So I got some hope. I really hope Platinum Games work with this better than they did their last one, which was Mutants in Manhattan from 2016.
There it is.
Do not let those people work on this. Let the better team work on this game.
Who's left? Everybody left Platinum Games.
Anybody. Platinum still can make some good games. It just wasn't that one.
What's that game that went to that they shut everything down, so the game is basically another Concord?
Oh god, I'm not sure. They've only done a few.
I have it. It's on my shelf, but I don't want to waste time picking it up.
Babylon's Fall.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that failed to begin with.
It failed to begin with, and then it just went downhill from there. It started down here, and then somehow it went just further down.
Yeah, Last Ronin. This is more like the last roundup for Platinum Games.
Yeah, it was confused for a Shovel Knight title. They dug themselves so far.
I can dig it.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful for it. I like what they showed, which I know that was all early, probably CG or test footage and things, but it had the right feel to it, and I like the idea of where it is. They have the potential to do this correctly. Please, God, let you do it correctly. Do not fuck this up. I mean, let's look at it this way, and this is probably a bit of an extreme thing, but like if it announced like Platinum Games is doing a remake of Snatcher, like you don't, it could go great or it could go terrible.
There's no great,
but you would have some kind of hope.
There's no great.
Fair enough.
They'd probably have a drop.
They'd probably
get rid of Metal Gear. They would probably get rid of Metal Gear and put in a cube.
Jesus.
Jeremy, if the only way that you could get The Last Ronin is if the Mutants in Manhattan team worked on it, would you just say, no, actually, I'd rather not have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just better not to have it happen. The book is great. That's not going to get fucked with. Don't get my hopes up and destroy it. At least this, there is some good and there is some bad. We'll see where it lands. Maybe they hired new people. I don't know.
Maybe they'll sell DLC where everybody comes back.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil the story, which I fucking hate. Like a bunch of news sites immediately tell you the twist of the story while they reported this. And I was like, do you guys not fucking care?
They don't. How many comic book readers are reading their articles? 2, 5, 6? So
well, then, I mean, people playing this, I could see legitimately wanting to go back and maybe know the twist. Like they might hide it in the game like they did in the book. And they did a really good job with that.
Yeah, like I'll eventually read it because I'm intrigued, but I'm like, I'm not going to read the articles either.
I've already read it, so I didn't have a problem reading that, and I was just trying to see the report of it. But like, was like, come on, guys, like have some journalistic integrity. Like, you don't have to give every detail away.
Integrity.
So. Yeah, I know. My bad, Chase.
You have really high expectations. Just like for Platinum Games, apparently.
Let me hope.
All right, let's talk about the next game, which is an apology tour.
Really? Well, okay. All right, Star Wars Zero Company for Series X and S.
Oh no, not that game. Sorry, the one after that. Sorry, not Star Wars.
I was
like,
like,
Star Wars.
Yeah, I was like, why? I thought this looked cool. Star Wars Zero Company, Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC, coming August 27th. Chase, I actually thought this would be a game you might enjoy. Single-player turn-based strategy game that takes place during the end of the Clone Wars era. What'd you say, Chase?
I've been holding out for this. So
it looks great.
They announced it like a year ago. They had like a little announcement trailer for it, and the fact that I'm just stoked for this game.
The customization and everything they showed for how you can make your groups and plan things out for different abilities looked a lot of fun. Like, it was kind of great that you could go in and different mechanics and take things on. And this all takes place towards the end of the Clone Wars era. So we can kind of see the end of the Clone Wars and maybe the rise of Darth Vader and the Empire and see where that kind of goes into. And because I used to love playing some of the old Star Wars strategy games. So I'm kind of curious to see how that converts over to a turn-based. But the fact that it is actually focused on story-based is great. It's single player.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to force multiplayer.
It's heavily XCOM looking. So it's good.
Yeah, I wonder if
it does not look like a turn-based game to me. And I don't mean that in a bad way. They could use that engine and get a good platform or whatever type of game out of it.
It reminds me of Mario and the Rabbids, basically, because it's how you walk around and explode things and stuff. I was just like, it's gonna be good.
That was a game that I was very worried about until I got it and was like, oh shit, this is actually good.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this game.
Nice.
I kind of have an idea probably how it's going to play ish to a point, but I think it's going to be really good. It almost kind of gives me that Bad Batch vibe to it as well.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm looking forward to that a little bit.
This would be around the Bad Batch era, wasn't it? So it could
they
could be part of it.
Instead of Bad Company, it's Zero Company.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm trying to think on the trailer. Did it seem like it was more of one of those games where you would move all of your people, then their turn they'd move all of theirs, or do you think it's a 1-to-1 time? Because I've seen them before where you move yours, they move one, and you keep a chess game almost.
If they do it like XCOM / Mario and Rabbids, it might be based on stats too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that just determines how many moves and how far you can go and things like that.
Traditionally, games like this, it would be you'd move all your people, do all your actions, and then the opposing team would get their turn. Maybe they might decide to do more of but I've seen other games, I think the Divinity games and your Baldur's Gate 3, where it's kind of more D&D style, you all kind of have an initiative tracker, and depending on your stats, you might get a better initiative roll than quote-unquote roll than you'll go first type thing. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. If I had to guess, I'm guessing they'll probably do more of the XCOM style, where it'll just be your team gets a turn, their team gets a turn, but we'll see.
Did you ever? Not that many people sadly played this, and I always thought this was a fun one. There was a 3DS strategy game called Codename Steam, which was kind of like a
that was good, but the fact of who you got to be was weird.
Yeah, it was kind of a fun story for the way they did that for the steampunk. But what I liked about it is if you didn't use all of your steam during your movements, you could use those during or to counter other movements on the other side. So you could make your movements, but you could hold back some if you needed to kind of give yourself a little bit of a movement during their turn if you had to. It was a different mechanic, but I just didn't know if you've ever tried that one just for something different.
I heard of it, but I actually haven't played it, sadly.
it's fun to mess around with, but
the first thing BitReactor tells you on their website is, maybe you've heard of us. We've worked on a lot of successful games such as XCOM, Civilization, Elder Scrolls Online, and Gears of War. So, okay.
Yeah, I guess they're known.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
They're known as a dev studio for strategy games, so that's a good way to start.
There you go. Next up, we had Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance coming for Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC in 2027. Basically adding floating islands that are being added with new and returning monsters to hunt, new hunter reactions, as well as master rank quests. So traditionally in Monster Hunter games, you would get the normal title that would come out, usually only in Japan, and then the G rank or master rank quests would go into a new edition, which is what America would get as our version, like for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, things like that. Nowadays, we get the same original release, and they do DLC to add the other stuff. So that's what we're getting now. You do need to have finished the 7-star assignment, Awakening from a Dream, in order to actually access and explore any of these new areas and use anything from it. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to buy it and you haven't gotten there yet, you just wait. You can now glide between floating islands and ride up drafts with your secret mount. And then the Boost Bracer is a new armor piece that, when activated, enhances and adds new moves to your different weapons for a limited time. So it's kind of a new advanced mechanic. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying this, it's not a knock to the game as a whole, is the fact that all the fans weren't happy with how the game chugged on no matter what system you played, until somebody found out if you disabled the DLC, the frame rate improved and got better.
I think they fixed that.
It was the weirdest workaround, and since then people were complaining about different system game systems that they were coming across in the game. So that's why this one, they're saying it's accompanied by a complete overhaul of the game. Like, they're going to change a lot to make it better. Like, we're sorry, we'll fix it.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting one, because we've talked about us playing Wilds, which I found my copy. I have it on Xbox. And I would love to get in there and actually play that sometime. I think it'd be a fun game for us.
We got a lot of games.
We do. But now Chase can join us on the other part of this, and that's Monster Hunter Wilds is coming for Switch 2. Thank God. That's what I've been asking for. Huh?
I've already got it. I got it.
No, but I mean, now you can have it on. But now we can have it on Switch 2. Like, I want it on Switch 2. I want it portable.
I don't need everything on Switch 2.
No, I like having it portable. I've always enjoyed having portable Monster Hunters because I could do the hunts while I'm traveling and doing stuff.
Listen, that's what I want. Key cards as much as I like my key cards. Okay.
God damn it! I know it's going to be a key card. I mean, it's Capcom.
Better believe it. Even Monster Hunter Story was a key card. So
no shit. But I'll just end up picking up digitally and just have it on my system. We have no release date yet, but they said it's in development, so we don't know exactly when it is. Maybe we'll get more info later. Maybe at the rumored direct. Probably not. I think it's a little too soon for that. But we've got some of the Elder Dragons that are coming back for Ascendance. There's a couple new flying type creatures that we're kind of going up against. A couple of returning ones. No Baroth still. Come on. I want my hammer back. That's all I want. All right. Let's move on to the next bit. The last big game announcement we had is Final Fantasy VII Revelation, coming for Series X and S, PS5, Switch 2, and PC. Spring 2027, all at the same time, finally. We're not having a PS5 exclusive period, and then a year later getting it on PC, and then God knows when later getting it on Xbox and Switch 2. Everything coming out the same day. This is the third and final chapter of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to be. You guys have played the first two more than I have. So what are your thoughts on this third one so far? What you've seen?
Now, I've been playing the first one, especially with all its updates now. And it's got a mode for you to go through the game quicker, like if you want accessibility. Mm-hmm. And it's basically got it if you wanted to play it old school, where you each pick your attack depending on your active time battle, or if you just do a strictly Devil May Cry Dynasty Warriors hack and slash, which I've been doing as well.
That's cool that it actually allows for both. That's pretty awesome, actually.
I never really liked the original Final Fantasy VII, and the reason I'm giving this trilogy the benefit of the doubt is because it's already expanding on things I did like about it, but it seems to be doing a better explanation of the, without going into story spoilers, of the stupid stuff they did. But I really like how they're doing the airship, which has you almost like Fortniting into a place. You'll fly the airship to a location, and then you'll jump off Fortnite style, and everybody has their own unique animation of how they jump. Even Vincent Valentine just drops like dead weight. And the fact that they put in a job system, so if you wanted to put them in different costumes but have them have different abilities, they're expanding upon it. So it's not just stuck in Materia World. It's also, hey, you could make Tifa, a black mage and stuff like that. And everybody's like, wait, what? So I think things like that have some, have a lot of potential. That's why I was just like, if this is the way he truly realized this game to be, I was just like, I'll play it this time. I've never liked the original, but maybe with something like this, it'll make me more towards being accepting if they wanted to do this to 6 one day, but we'll see.
6 would be tricky. That's a big one. Yeah, and I just said you guys because I was just talking to both of you. I guess, Chase, you've played it as much as I have.
Yeah, not at all. I probably should give it a shot. I never played the original.
You can put both demos on your Switch too, or your PlayStation right now. So.
I have access to all of them because Jeremy bought all of them, so I could just go get his and play them. So technically, it's my own damn fault. I think he may have actually bought the Switch 2 version also, so I guess I could just pick up that first.
Because the newest thing they did, and you can either take it or leave it if you want to use it, is you can change in the accessibility. You can make it that your life is like never goes down, or your life is 9999. You can make your battles one hit if you want, or you can make it that you will struggle through it. It all depends.
If I can turn that on and off, I might use it to get over the humps where I'm like getting frustrated or something. Just
because like
continue.
For me, I because the second one just came out as well, is I want to get through it because the games are humongous. It's 105 gigs for the second one. On Switch 2, and who knows what it is on PlayStation and Xbox. But other than that, it's just the fact that there's, once you're going through all that, having the ability to, like, I think I left it on where I just had a lot of life, because when you're doing the battles, the game's known for just being cinema. So kind of like Expedition, when you get to certain parts of a boss fight, if you're too powerful in Expedition 33, you miss out on some great set pieces. And so similarly in Final Fantasy, if you make yourself too powerful, you're just going to miss out on some of the great set pieces. So I made it so it's hard for me to die, but it's not. But it's very hard for me to just. I'm not going to one-hit an enemy. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but it's happy you get to tweak all of that in all the versions now. So
I think what I hate in some of those games, or the frustration I get into, is like you'll be trying to figure it out and play it, and it's like, oh, I have this one move that's going to wipe your entire team, and it's like if you don't sit there and do all this stuff to plan for that one attack, and then like pick a little bit of their life off, then plan for the next round of it, it's like,
well, and the
that's
best
not
part,
fun. It's so frustrating.
And the best part is that you can toggle them with just the left and right analog sticks. You just click in the left stick, and it fills all your life back, and you click the right stick, and you can suddenly do one hit and stuff like that, and it tells you. So it's all very nicely done.
Okay.
Because he knows his games are long and huge, so he was just like, I want you to experience as much as possible. So he started putting that in there, saying like,
wrap it up. Wrap
it up, Keely. Let's go.
Nice. All right. Before we go on to our letter grade and stuff, did you guys have any other titles you wanted to mention?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Not from Summer Games Fest.
Okay. Well, we got stuff in the speedrun, but anything else? I guess we'll go ahead and do that then. So the letter grade and thoughts on the Summer Game Fest of what we've given this time. Steven, we'll start with you.
Speaking of Jeff Keighley, this is probably the most accepting everybody's been of him. So
I mean, I'll give the man credit, he tries.
Other than the weird Switch 2 trailers we got sprinkled throughout that thing, I'll give it an A as well.
Yeah, that's the most just actual commercial shit. I think I saw the whole thing.
Yeah, it was. They were like, Nintendo has a stake in Game Fest, and I'm like, yeah, they have 2 commercials.
Right. Chase, you didn't watch it, so I'm not sure what you've seen our list.
Judging by the list, I would give it an A. Looks like it was pretty good. I'll watch it probably after this just to see what the actual the fest.
No, it's
like.
2 hours. It's 2 hours, so fast forward to get to your stuff.
It's not too bad to have in the background though, and then kind of just look when you need to.
Yeah, there's no stupid segments or anything.
I guess I should probably give it a B because there was no Muppets, and that's annoying. There should have been Muppets, damn it. I would give it an A. This was a really good list. Like, this year, we're getting a really good selection of games out of both the showings we've had so far. The PlayStation State of Play did great. This has got a lot of stuff I'm excited for and looking forward to, and I think that's the biggest thing is, like, I want other games to look forward to that are not Grand Theft Auto 6. Because everybody keeps focusing on that.
And it didn't stop there.
Yeah. It did not even mention. I don't think I've even heard the game come up once, which is kind of fun. I'm sure somebody said it, but I didn't hear it. So, yeah. That's a bunch of really good ones. We've got the Xbox ones to look forward to, and hopefully a good Nintendo Direct. So this could be one of the better E3 seasons, just with like I said, terrible scheduling. we need better scheduling on this. All right, let's jump over to our other little bit here. Steven, you said you had some other games you wanted to try and highlight.
Yeah, so. I made notes because it was a little much to we'd be scrolling forever.
Okay.
I did want to mention that for some reason Sonic is getting a year 2 for the Crossroads racing game.
Oh yeah,
DLC. They're getting Godzilla DLC, and they're also getting Evangelion DLC where you can ride as the character. So I was like, okay, they're going for it.
Okay.
But as well as that, there's a lot of stuff that was coming out for Switch 2. There was also a game called No Rest for the Wicked that's coming later for Switch 2, but it's also a 3-player game-ish thing that basically looks like a more fun Diablo.
Oh yeah, I did see that. That does look really good, actually.
But after that,
guys, gonna take offense to that comment.
After that, they had the Day of the Devs, which showed off a lot of good stuff. But the things I want to highlight were there was a game from the makers of Duck Detective called Apple Crumble, which is done in more 3D style, but it is it bites a lot off of Knives Out. Even the logo has all the knives heading towards your grandma because it's your grandma's birthday and everybody wants to kill her, but you have to find out like who's going to.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
But it's all done very English style. So it's got that Knives Out inspiration, which is nice. The creators are back, and we're getting another N++, but it's N++ Infinity times 2. And
I thought you were joking when you first posted about that. I was like, that's the most childish argument. Infinity +2.
So it's still got your local co-op. It's still got online co-op. You can put bots in it, so it's still going to be a lot of fun. There's another game called Threads of Time, which is made by 2 guys who quit their jobs to just make a game, and it's taken off from there. It is essentially, hey, 2 guys were like, we're never getting a Chrono Trigger remaster, so we'll make ones ourselves. So this game has brilliant pixel art that was all hand done, and it was. They said they got some Japanese legends to help them on the game that worked on stuff from Xenoblade and more. So I'm curious when they said they're going to share that later of who they had work on some of their stuff to help make this game the way it's turning out. So if you like Octopath and you like Chrono Trigger and you want to put that together, there's a lot of time traveling in it. You can even go back in time, save the dinosaurs, and see what the dinosaurs look like in the future. So it's very cool the way you can like alter things.
Oh wow!
There's another game that if you liked Mouse PI and you like that Ralph Bakshi type of content called Into the Unwell. So it's more like a 3D action game, but it's very cartoony and it's very well animated. But if you already liked Mouse PI and you wanted something more along those lines. There's that. We
I'm
are
still waiting
getting
on my
another.
copy of Mouse PI to come out.
We are getting another
I need to
Cuphead
get
game
mine.
as well as a 16-bit version of a Cuphead game, which both look amazing. So Cuphead's not ending anytime soon.
Yeah, that was
The other one was one of my favorites that is getting a physical release as well from Lost in Cult. Is called Tenebris Somnia. It is basically a point and click adventure uh, that basically mixes like really old, like I want to say like almost a little bit less than 8-bit type graphics, like very simple. But whenever you get into a cutscene, it's live action. But I played it on the Xbox Game Pass, and I was very intrigued the way it's done. It's like that game we played with the 3 people in the dungeon chase. It looks like that. I think it's called Chasm, where one of them's setting all the traps and the monsters, and the other 3 are trying to get out of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So the
I
graphics
remember
are
what
like
you're
that.
talking
So it's like that, but with a huge storyline.
okay.
They are making DLC for Chronos that's going to explain the rest of the story so I can understand it, called Chronos Lazarus. There is a roguelite fighting game coming out called Shot One Fighters. It's cool to look at as well because it reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom because the bosses are kind of like apocalypse size. And the last one that I was watching until we recorded today is a game called Exodus, which basically almost 100% is trying to copy Mass Effect, where you can make choices, except for instead of Paragon and Renegade, you have Paladin and Immortal, which are which are blue and red. You have all the alien species, and then you have a character for some reason voiced by Matthew McConaughey. But there is a 20-minute gameplay reveal. There's a 20-minute gameplay reveal on YouTube that you can watch. So I've been going through that because the game screen, and when you're watching it, you're just like, I'm looking at Mass Effect. I'm looking at Mass Effect. The best way I can describe it is it's what's that? What was that show Seth MacFarlane made that was like a ripoff of Star Trek?
Oh, the Orville.
Yeah, so it's like the Orville.
If it's anywhere near as good as that, it actually could stand on its own and be something fun to watch. So who knows? All right, let's jump over then to the speed run. All right, after the timer ran out, Maverick Games announced a new open world racing game called Clutch. More details will be shown at the Summer Games Fest, which we did see some more details on that. But it basically follows twin drivers in the R1K racing series with a story that also takes you to the underworld for driving and more, with a focus on car customization and personalization down to trash in your car, which was hilarious. Like you can just put empty cans in your cup holders, like that kind of customization. But this Maverick Games is made up of a lot of developers that used to be at Playground Games who made some of the Forza Horizon titles. So it's got a really good pedigree for that, and I'm kind of wanting to see where it goes from there. But once again, I'm just super happy that we're getting 3 potentially really good and different, fun open world games all in 1 year, which is 1 is great. 3 is just we eating good. So, and as much as you like Forza Chase, this kind of seems like it might be up your alley as well.
When you mentioned Clutch, I was like, I haven't heard of that one yet. I'm gonna have to look into that one. And then now it's definitely, I'm curious about it.
Yeah, once I knew the pedigree of who made it or where they came from, I was like, oh yeah, no, y'all done good shit. So yay. Nintendo Music got an update, so you can now listen via web browser on your computer, as well as phone apps finally getting full Android Auto and Apple CarPlay support, which has been kind of fun. I pulled it up at work and could just put playlists on, and now it has a full screen display on my car, and I can just mess with it while I'm driving, which is great. I keep muting whenever I have a little cough, and it shows up on the chart. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So who knows? It may be recording it. I don't know. We'll find out in the edit. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition for Switch 2 is coming out August 28th. The extra content will be available to purchase for all of the versions at the same time. Video and things that were shown off about the game show it greatly improved how it's running on the hardware. So they took the time to work on it, and it seems to have been like a big payoff for that. So hopefully it'll be a better version for people to play. Power Wash Simulator 2 gets a Star Wars pack, which was announced coming July 16th. You play as a droid cleaning up different sites, which include everything from Imperial Star Destroyer Bridge, Hoth Rebel Base Interior, Luke's Family Moisture Farm. I don't know if you have to clean up the dead bodies outside or not. Moss Eisley Yeah, that would be great and terrible. Moss Eisley Cantina, an AT-AT in the middle of the Hoth battle, Millennium Falcon, an X-Wing, and more shown. So I'm definitely going to be getting this. Power Wash Simulator, if nothing else, has had some of the best bonus content from both the first game and the second game. Just such a weird eclectic thing. Just because the first game went from freaking SpongeBob to Warhammer. Those should never exist in the same place, yet it fits. So
Redacted.
No kidding. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee Remastered coming for PS5, Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC coming November 3rd. Absolutely fantastic game. Glad it's getting a remaster because it costs some money to get. I've been trying to find a copy.
That's also the original developers are back.
Yes.
The only thing people are worried about is they've been bought up by Virtuos, which isn't the best port studio, but I still have faith in Pipeworks themselves just saying, like, no, this is our game.
It looked from the trailer like they just took the original game and cleaned it up. I'd be fine if that's all they did. Like,
none of those monsters are DLC. There's just an unlock system of getting it. I was like, that's what I want.
Yeah, I want my Mecha Godzilla, and we'll go from there. But that was one of those surprise ones. I was like, oh, this can't. Oh, that's real. Okay, cool.
Now we got a game for Chase coming. Yeah.
Steven, you know you're going to order this. Barbie Rewind Collection coming for PS5, Switch 1 and 2, November 12th. 16 retro games in the collection, deluxe edition exclusive to Nintendo. Nintendo Switch comes with a Barbie wearing an Atari shirt.
So guess what I ordered today?
Barbie with an Atari shirt.
Yep. I'll buy Barbie Rewind Collection before I buy God of War Laufey, or whatever it's called. But yeah. They also announced the Toy Story Rewind Collection, well, not Rewind Collection, Complete Collection, which has some good Toy Story games, especially on N64, and then the surprisingly really good Toy Story 3. So,
and the Toy Story 3 is getting a full remaster being included with it. That's the funny thing.
Yeah, if you're a fan of retro games, just like people who like racing games, we're eating good.
It's still really funny to me, though. We get the same group that did Mortal Kombat Collection is now turning around and doing Barbie and Toy Story. It's like, what a 180. The last little bit, just before the show, Steven dropped this on me. A Pulse coming for PC. It's a roguelite pinball shooter from Raw Fury and Laredo. And I want this on Switch or Switch 2 as a physical copy so damn bad to add to my pinball collection. It looks really fun.
That's not the only thing I dropped on you. I dropped on Bloober Team making a Star Trek survival horror.
That's right. I forgot to add it in here. Yeah, that's the other thing. The Bloober Team, who made The Medium and also did Silent Hill 2 remake, are making a
Chronos. Yeah,
they did make Chronos. Yeah, they have a Star Trek game coming out, which actually stars Ro Laren. I don't know when in the timeline this fits, because Ro Laren does pop up in the newer Star Trek, but they show the comm badge that she gets is a Next Generation era one, which I know she held on to, so I don't know if that's going to be in there or not. Yeah, I really want to know where it is, because she's a character that needs more backstory added as well. I'm trying to see where you sent me that. I think you sent it to me directly. No, you did not. Where did you put that?
I think I put that in general.
I know I immediately saw it the first time, was like, dear God.
And you were like, I'm in, it's Bloober Team as well. So,
yeah, general gaming. There it is. It's called Star Trek Shadow Frontier. My bad. So, yeah, that looks absolutely amazing. It's some kind of horror game in Star Trek. I'm in. Like, I just want to try it.
Yeah, I like that the format they Bloober Team uses with some of their licenses. So, I haven't. This is gonna hurt Jeremy, but I haven't enjoyed a Star Trek game since Elite Force. So I'm gonna look forward to this one.
Did you ever play Legacy?
It was a lot.
It's more ship-based combat, which I knew it was when I went into it. So depending on what kind of game you're looking for, that's like, really good racing games. But if you don't like racing, that's not going to work.
Games, like a lot of Star Trek games, like went towards that after a while. But if we ever do an extra quarter, there was a lot of old Star Trek games that I really loved playing because they tried to do more about the crew aspect and less about the ship aspect. Which, is
Yeah,
a big part of it.
it does vary greatly on those games, and I would love to do an extra quarter about Star Trek games because I love those games so much.
I thought Elite Force was one of the best usage of the Quake engine. So
That was one of those great total conversions from back in the day. Like,
yeah.
did you ever play the X-Men one? That's so fucking weird.
I did.
It's so weird. They made an X-Men one. Yeah, I'll have to show it to you sometime. All right, let's go over to the big question for this week. All right, so with June 5th being 1 year since the Switch 2 released, and mind you, that would be yesterday, according to recording time. What are your thoughts on the system's first year, both as those that bought it day one, which would be Steven and I, and Chase having watched it over the year and finally got one himself recently? So, Steven, let's start with you. Your thoughts on the Switch 2's first year.
Well, we already know my allegiance from even my back of my couch here. But I had high hopes as soon as the Direct came out and they were saying that we're going to do up to 4K, up to 120 FPS. I was just like, okay. The rumors of the it being on par with the Series S was pretty much, and sometimes higher than it, was right on the money. And then the awesome factor of having upgrade paths and some of them just be automatic, and then having just games run better, and having all these different updates they did to the system. They just, they haven't had any missteps yet in terms of their hardware, other than what other people are doing to influence their price. I think they've had a fantastic year, and I think it's just so enlightening to see so much support for the system, especially from Capcom on some of their biggest games, Pragmata and Resident Evil being two of them. Now Monster Hunter Wilds. But like I specifically made a list when we were doing when I watched all the conferences and stuff this week, and I just put down whenever I was just like, oh, is there a Switch 2 version? So there's Rayman Legends Retold. There's Tomb Raider, which is like, okay, other than the older games, we're finally getting a new Tomb Raider on a Nintendo system day and date. We're getting No Rest for the Wicked, which is coming later because they just got a dev kit or something like that, I'm guessing. We're getting Dynasty Warriors 3 on a Nintendo system for the first time. We're getting the Toy Story collection. We're getting Resident Evil Veronica, so they're still doing Resident Evil. We're getting Alien Isolation 2, which I know the first one was kind of like, it was hit and miss whether it'd be good, and it became like the best version. Right. But then we're definitely getting the second one now, so I love now just seeing how they're doing now. And then all the announcements, you either see Switch 2 in there, or you see Switch 2 exclusive, or you see now also coming to Switch 2. Just shows me that it's already outpacing the first Switch, which is really good, even in this economy. And the fact that even their overseas sales are breaking records, and something as simple as even Tomodachi Life is just like wrecking house. And that's not even for Switch 2, but over half of the people are buying it on Switch 2.
Yeah, they already had a good patch ready to go for it, so it runs great.
The only thing I can end this with is Microsoft, you said whatever systems the games are coming for, you're going to display tomorrow. Because you do not do like Sony did during that whole presentation and hide the fact that it's coming to other systems. You have to wait for the press releases. But since Microsoft's going to make it known right away, please, will you show me your goddamn Switch 2 games? We're finally getting Call of Duty on a Nintendo system with cross progression and crossplay. And they give us screenshots, but I'm like, that screenshots is not good enough for me. I need to see video footage of this in action to see how these games work. But I think the future is very bright, and I just can't wait to see what else comes to the system.
Okay. Chase, I'm going to have you go last because part of why I was kind of interested in this question is because you do have a little bit of a different view of all of this. which I'm intrigued by since you didn't have it for the year and you had to listen to us rattle on about it until you finally broke down and got one, and Nintendo blessed you with most of the games you fucking wanted, apparently, which is great. I thought that was funny. Yeah, I can't argue that.
Yeah.
So the Switch 2, I was already excited about it before it launched, as I am for any of my Nintendo systems. I get those. But I've been pleasantly surprised, especially with the hardware, than I thought I would be. Because when I bought the system, I also bought a second pair of Joy-Cons because I was like, okay, the first pair is going to break after I wonder how much time, and I'll have a second pair to start over and work on it. I have yet to use that second pair, which after a year, with as much as I play that thing and travel with it, is such an improvement to what the Switch 1 had. I had to switch out my Joy-Cons on my Switch 1 multiple times and then eventually switch them to a Hall effect sensor and work on those. And I've not had to do a thing on the Switch 2. It just works. So they've definitely improved their hardware so much better. I was worried about the magnetic connection. I don't know if you were, Steven, when it first came out, like wondering how that was going to work long term. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just they're on there. They
Yeah,
don't
I
come
watched
off.
people do this to it, and I was like, okay, I'm sold.
And I do that without much of a problem. I just have to make sure I don't fat finger the button on accident like an idiot and drop it. I've done that. It works really well. I've had to expand the memory once. I got a large, like a 512 card for it when I first got it, or no, 256. And I did end up burning through that pretty quick. Got to the point I'd filled it up both with captures, videos,
I already burned
installed
through
games.
my terabyte.
Well, I put a terabyte in there and I still have plenty of space left. I've been using it a little more reasonably, but I like the fact that most of my stuff I can put on there no problem. If I put the Final Fantasies on there, it sounds like I'm going to burn through it quick.
Especially with 14 coming.
No, I'm not doing 14. I am not doing that on there. I'm not paying for a whole separate thing.
One thing I really like about it that they didn't really give you an option up front to do because it was a hidden term in Switch 1. What I love about Switch 2 is if you don't want to forget about a game, you can still uninstall it, but keep the icon.
Yeah, you could do that in the first one too, I think.
But the first one, you had to archive it, they called it.
Right.
Well, this one, when you delete, it says, do you want to keep the icon? And I'm like, I really like the upfront big title, big thing. They say, do you want to keep it? And you can just say yes, and it'll just have like a little notification when you go over it that you'll need to put the card in or re-download it. But
right.
It was helpful because sometimes I'm like, do I have this game or not? So
yeah, the way the actual system has worked, I've been really happy with how Nintendo has, like, people were judging Nintendo on the fact that they're taking a Switch, which has been so far the most successful system they've ever made. It's hands down. It's, it may still, but probably won't make it quite as much beat the PS2. But that's not a slight against it at all. But everything that had has been improved on the Switch 2, I think, in really smart ways. Even stuff that people may not think about directly, like the second USB port. Thank God. I could just set it down somewhere and plug it in the top with a battery and, like, while I'm flying somewhere and play it and not have to worry about a cable coming out the bottom to fight with or have to rest it. The Joy-Cons come on and off way easier. Not in a bad way, like it's intentional. But I can do that. There's no wear and tear on it like there was on the Switch 1 where those pieces could eventually bend or break. So I'm more likely to use individual Joy-Con controls or use the mouse mode, which I'm glad more games have started taking advantage of that. I'm hoping that will be added to more of them. I really wish Tomodachi Life had access to that. I think that's one of the biggest faults of that game is it really could use mouse mode, especially for drawing and doing things. It'd be great. The fact of what they did with backwards compatibility is leaps and bounds over what I was worried they would originally do. Traditionally, they have it just basically run the same. If you ran Wii on Wii U, it would kind of upscale it, but not enough to actually really matter. It just digitized it because it was HDMI, unless you played it over analog. That was your only advantage. but it didn't really do anything extra. The games didn't run any better, but we've gotten so many improvements now where my entire library, almost every game, runs better automatically without anyone having to do anything. There's room for the developers to put in patches and do things to make them run even better, which is great. And then Nintendo, what I was super happy about, just out of the blue, dropped a firmware update that said, hey, you have a 1080p screen on this handheld. The old Switch could go up to 1080p. If you don't care about the battery being a little bit less, you can now run it docked mode while you're walking around. And that jumped a bunch of games up even higher. And they let you turn that on and off and do what you want. And it's not an all or nothing requirement, which it's very not Nintendo. Thank God. Because before it's like, here's what you got. You deal with it, good or bad. Now you get to kind of pick and choose. And that's Nintendo kind of being a little better for it. What I don't like is I wish we could actually change the color of the background. Yeah, sure. Black mode, the dark mode's fine. Can I have other colors? I'd love it to be green. Like, just, you're 2 generations in. Let me choose a color. Go ahead, Steven. I know you keep trying to say something.
Sorry, yeah. I just wanted to add in 2 things I like, 2 things I would nitpick a year later. 2 things I still like. One of them is watching a lot of videos on the improvements they did to games. The fact that if a game was trying to hit 30 frames, it now just locks it at 30. And if the game had unlocked frame rate, it just pushes and usually gets 60. So Bayonetta is like game changer now, the trilogy, which is a big thing. Another, let's go to the bad side for a minute, is, like you just said, give us themes. Like, 3DS.
It's such a nitpick, but yeah.
Give us themes, and if you really want to spoil us, give us Badger Arcade or something. But I don't know what you would do to it, really, other than to, like, mess with your icon in the upper left.
Let me use screenshots as a wallpaper or something.
Yeah. But then my biggest thing for them is the now I forgot. I was trying not to forget it the whole time. About the Switch 2. Yes. No. Is how they work with headsets. The fact that I can't plug in a wired headset and just use it like I would on a Pro controller that has the plug on it. It just automatically defaults to, nope, you get everything. I'm like, I don't want everything. I want the audio coming out of my TV, and I want the audio from my chat coming through my headset. And they're like, oh, you can do that, but you need Bluetooth.
I wonder if they'll eventually update that, because that seems like a firmware update they could do, which I'm hoping for. I agree that should be an option, because that's great for streaming, so we can hear each other, but then still have the audio going out.
Oh, and I remembered the other one. The other one was also a concern of yours, and please, Nintendo, give us an update that gives us the option to not always download all the new NSO games that come out, especially if you're going to be adding more systems, as you're rumored to do. We're going to run out of space.
At least for GameCube. I'm fine with the other ones because it's such a minuscule amount. It's fine. But the GameCube, you're talking over a gig each. Like, let us trim that back.
Yeah.
So, I think the other thing I was going to add, I'm much happier with their online now. Like, it's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot better than it was on Switch, both for the wireless, which is working better, but the built-in port works well. And I'm very surprised at how well the camera system works. The actual chat we've used before and talked, and I like being able to share like what we're playing, what we're doing it. I'm very curious to try that with you, Chase, and see how that works when you're all the way down there and we're up here. I want to see, what kind of frame rate we're getting. But it's still, I think the talking should be fine. The sharing parts can be tricky. But now that we've kind of gone over part of that, Chase, your thoughts on the hardware kind of over this time, and then after that, we'll talk a little bit about some of the releases of games that have come out.
Take us home.
Yeah, go for it, Chase.
Okay. So, obviously, I didn't get one when it first came out, as Jeremy alluded to.
Yeah, we ribbed you about it for a while.
Yeah. So... I haven't always necessarily been like the biggest fan of Nintendo, generally speaking.
Fair enough.
And but I do have to give credit's due. I got this for my birthday, I do really enjoy it. I'm not just saying that because somebody's sitting right next to me.
Playing it.
Yeah, I do actually really enjoy the Switch too. I am pretty impressed with what they've achieved in such a, dare I say, small package, so to speak. I think that, yeah, the it's definitely a step up. I know, like you guys are always talking about like, oh yeah, like I can't wait for like this game to come out on it. I can't wait for like this to, like can't wait to use this feature. Like this is gonna be so cool and all this stuff. And some of that still falls on the wayside for me. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm just, I know I was always gonna get a Switch 2, mostly for the games, mostly for Fire Emblem, as a matter of fact. But yeah, uh, I don't know. It's Switch is always, I've always had this really weird like love hate relationship with the console, and this
It's
one,
fair.
but this one so far it's been nothing but love.
Well, I'm curious, like watching and talking with Steven and I over the last year when we were playing ours or talking about different stuff. Like, what was your impression of the Switch 2? Like, how did you view it based on what we would say, like, the good, the bad type things, or what caught
Um,
your attention of it?
well, I think the thing that caught my attention was obviously like probably, like what Swan talked about, probably the fact that just everything ran better, like even your Switch 1 games, which I was like, okay, yeah, that's good. Like that's like such a bonus
Well, like
because
Steven and I, when we played RE6, that was a huge update. Like,
yeah.
it played so much better.
And to be fair, like that's really um that's kind of like the one big detraction from the Switch 1, right? Was always it was the inferior version, so to speak,
Yeah.
in a sense. And so then they've kind of negated that argument in a lot of ways. So I when you guys were talking about that, I'm like, oh, okay. So now actually maybe it makes sense to get some more games on the Switch too.
That was Chris showing up. You trying to tempt him over with his Darkstalkers? Hi, Chris.
Hello. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I like how you
I
just
thought
see
you'd
a
like
hand
it.
come out and like pick it up. That was great. Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest thing for me is because like I said, it does make sense that there's probably more access to certain games. Like now it makes sense for more games to get on a Switch too. Whereas before I'd be like, no, if I'm gonna play these games, I'm probably gonna get them on my PS5 instead of getting them on my Switch.
I think also just the fact that crossplay has become such a bigger thing now that allows for people to have the different versions. So, whether you get one or not kind of fits in that way.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about this was your impression of it from us talking about it versus like, how did that live up to when you finally got one, you got your hands on it? Had you played one before that?
I never
Like,
played
had
one
you played
before
somebody
that.
else's? Okay. So when you got it, like, did it live up to the expectations you'd kind of made up in your mind from listening to us talk about it over the last year, or?
I almost made a really bad mistake and I almost picked it up. That would have been disastrous.
Why is she still playing?
Yeah. That would have been hilarious, but that would have been disastrous.
Yeah, don't die on air, because I
Yeah.
will put that show out still.
Is only if you promise that you do like the Top Gear thing where they were like, and Richard's dead. Anyway, moving on.
Anyways.
But no, so actually, like one of the first things, like when I opened up the present and I opened up the box and pulled it out and held it, was I was just like, oh yeah, this feels a lot better in the hands. That was literally my first
It is
comment.
so much more comfortable.
It's so much more because I actually bought a what is this? The CRKT Like,
Yeah.
it's like a adapter thing for the Switch
Yeah,
One.
I have those.
Yeah,
Okay, 'cause
a
here's
bigger one.
Here's mine.
Yeah.
Look, you guys can see yourself on the screen.
Hey.
This is how we record.
And because I
That's
bought
meta
one of
as
them.
shit.
I bought one of them for my Switch One, and it definitely like it fixed like the one issue that I had with my Switch One was just that the Switch One I just felt was quite uncomfortable holding portable mode.
Mm-hmm.
For me. So holding this one now, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, like I said, pull that out, and then I usually will hold that under there, or just kind of put it in, and it just takes all the weight off of it. It's so nice.
Yeah, because I take it to I actually take it to work with me. Play it on my lunch breaks.
Nice.
Like that's why I actually been playing through the Donkey Kong countries because it's actually a really easy thing to just be like, I can play on my lunch breaks, quit when I need to, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just super comfortable. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, I can hold it. Don't ever feel like any fatigue or any like issues holding it compared to the Switch One. Whereas I would have to stop using it after a while because I would start to get like a little bit of fatigue in my hands from holding it like so small. But
I think we'd all agree it's like the Switch One felt like a good first draft, and this feels like a more actual finished product.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think it's actually kind of. I don't have as many games for it yet, so in a way, I can't necessarily say, "Oh yeah, it's exceeding my expectations." I need to get some more games for it. My next game that's on my list is probably the Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
It's so good.
I want to play that one.
You're lying.
Say what?
I said you're lying. You only have a few weeks before Star Fox.
That's already pre-ordered.
He's talking about beyond that.
He ain't got time for Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't mean the obvious shit.
Yeah, Star Fox is coming out in a couple weeks. I forgot all about that.
Oh, the first previews I've seen recently have been so positive with like they've added a bunch of stuff that it's not just the game redone again. It's like a bunch of extra stuff added. So that's good.
But I do want to get the Hyrule Warriors game. There's probably a couple other games I want to get for it. I haven't quite taken.
You go back.
I haven't quite taken the dip that you guys have. I'm probably not getting.
We're insane.
I'm probably not getting Resident Evil 9 and Pragmata and a couple of those games. I'm still probably going to stick to like either my PS5. Or...
Well, it makes sense because you're hardly playing your Switch 2 at home because somebody else is. So.
That's true.
And we also know like part of why the Switch 2 is so attractive to me is because I do travel a lot. And this is just how I just carry my stuff and go around, and it's just made my life easier for a lot of
Chase,
stuff.
I only have 34 Switch 2 games, okay?
Only.
Jesus. I don't think I have that
I have
many.
954 Switch 1 games.
So
that still kills me.
So you've got basically like, what, 900, well, not quite 984 Switch 2 games, but...
Yeah, I don't have nearly that many. I think I'm at like 500. Which is just 492, sorry.
To add on to last minute announcements, Vampire Survivors is also getting a Switch 2 edition with mouse support.
Interesting. Okay. I wonder if there's an upgrade path if you already own it.
I don't know. They said more details. We'll let you know. We're like, okay.
Cool.
Pre-ordered, the other one I pre-ordered is Silk Song. I got the physical for Silk Song.
Oh, that's a good one.
I got I think you posted it on their Swan the Fan Gamer pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
They shipped to New Zealand actually, and the shipping wasn't like eye-wateringly expensive.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I shared the thing for Laced Records too, because I was like, oh, you can get your Warhammer soundtrack, your vinyl, and anything else you want because they have a rest of the world site too. And I was like, that's awesome.
Nice. But yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with it, and I look forward to what more comes.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about a couple of the games that have come out the last year. Just like, what are a few titles that you've really enjoyed playing on your Switch 2? Doesn't even have to be Switch 2 games. Sometimes Switch 1 releases have been absolutely fantastic. So, Steven, what about you? Just like a few of your favorite ones.
The biggest one that I made sure to go through and play through was Ball X Pit. because even the developer said that with the Switch 2 version and the other versions, there was just more allowed on screen than the Switch 1 edition.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, and seeing the chaoticness and how much fun that looked like, because it was like pachinko on crack.
I need to try that.
It
Not
was
pachinko on crack, but
try that. Great. No. But no, that was fantastic to play because there was absolutely no hitches in it. Playing that on Switch 2 was a big deal because it was something that you could see the difference. Playing my first new Resident Evil, not on a disc system, and playing it on the Switch was almost surreal in a way because you're just like, I can't believe the game looks like this on the system. So I played a lot of that. I didn't really play. I tested a lot, but I didn't really play a lot of games to see if they ran better or anything like that. But I will say, whenever things would get a Switch 2 edition or an upgrade, it got me to go back and either play that game or buy the game because I was just like, oh, what'd you do to it now?
mm-hmm.
I have a game which, yes, I still have to test that I think will sell me on the mouse support 100%. And that's Broken Sword because it's a point and click game, and point and click and mouse support to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And it was one of the things I was like hoping that a lot of these studios would do, and they are doing. So the fact that like Civilization is like mouse support, Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic, mouse support. They're all updating these with mouse support is great because these games need it. And this means like a game like Sims could eventually come to Switch 2 because we need mouse support. I hate moving a cursor around slowly around the screen.
Yeah, that potential for PC ports, like classic PC games, would be so great.
So now you're having this like barrage of Switch 2 and PC games coming out because they're like, oh, they both use mouse and stuff like that. But I still think the biggest was Ball X Pit. The biggest thing that I play and or use on my Switch 2 that I go into every day just to see what's there is the eShop is miles better than it's ever been. The fact that how it loads, how I can look through things, how it recommends you 5 random games per week.
If I turn on my OLED at all, I just pretend there isn't an eShop there. I buy it on Switch 2, and then I'll just tell it to download over there.
Yeah, that's a very it's got that kind of almost like that Steam discovery queue now, where it gives you just like 5 random things like, here, you might enjoy these based on other games you played. It's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, or it says a lot of people on your friends list has played these, so maybe you want to play it or something like that. So I can see what current people are playing, even if they're not online. And I think because of how smooth everything runs, that's why like I think the most played things are the eShop and Ball X Pit on the system, to be honest, because like every single day I will log in, see what games they are, try to see what gets a Switch 2 edition, avoid all the AI slop from the Switch 1. They are a lot more stringent with the Switch 2 shop because they've even shut down certain people who have a Dev 2 kit and everything like that, and they're actually good games. Like Dusk said we wanted to do a Switch 2 version, but we're still getting it through because Nintendo's not sure. They want to make sure it's not just recycled assets and trash and stuff like that. So they are being more stringent there, which is really nice to see. In terms of like what I want to play on it, I have so much I need to go back and play. I need to play Lollipop Chainsaw on my Switch 2 now that the Switch 2 edition upgrade is out. I need to finish Pragmata. I might try to import Dynasty Warriors Origins for it because that game's getting harder to find physical. So we'll see.
I didn't know it was available.
So far, it's only available on import for that, but I was just like, okay. Surprisingly, my most played game has been a Switch 1 game with a Switch 2 update, but that's been important that they had something like that. And thanks to the Switch 2, I finally got my Disney Afternoon collection.
Yep. For me, over the last year, like I've played so many games. I did go through a lot of my old titles and kind of see how they ran and kind of just to test it at a technical level. But I think the first really big Switch 2 feeling game. Like, I got Mario Kart when it launched, and I really enjoy it. But Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think, was the first one that I played that was like, oh, this is a whole new generation, such a big title that I could not consider ever happening on a Switch 1. It just wouldn't happen. Even though they originally tried to start development there with the frame rate being horrible. But the game looks absolutely fantastic. It's fun to play. You know, it just gets really creative with the destruction and things and just really shows off a lot of what you could do on there. Even letting you use like the construction mode and mouse and so forth to mess with things. You know, that we didn't get a big full Mario for it yet, but I'm kind of okay with it because this one is such a fun platformer. The other one I put a lot of time in, and I've actually played from beginning to end, which for a lot of these I have fun with, but I don't always finish them. And that actually is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I played that game, I think, almost 100%. Like, I played the entire story, never once having to repeat missions, and it just felt like it constantly went, which was great. I had, you know, challenges I could do in each map. I was willing to try out different characters. It was fun to kind of quickly switch between people and try out different weapons and then try merging weapons to make new ones. And there was just so many mechanics in there that I enjoyed, and it just played and ran so well. Another thing that I want to try and use more often, Steven, I think you've used this more with Chris. I need to try it some with Jen or a few other games, and that's the game share of how that works. Sometimes it's not perfect from what I've seen, but there's certain titles that if it happens to support it, I will double dip and buy it again. Like, so help me God, if Lego Batman supports it, I will buy it again digitally so I can play it easier with Jen that way and let her have her Switch while we play it together.
So,
or her inevitable Switch 2.
So I tried it at launch.
Uh-huh.
So I tried it with the Fast Star MX game, which usually those Shinen games guys kind of push the limits of a system.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't tried it with another game yet, and I'm curious because I want to try them out with some of the ones that boasted even more so,
Right.
especially like Star Fox and stuff. Is when we weren't pointing our systems at each other, I was fine because I had the copy.
Right.
But his was running at like 10 frames, 5 frames, 15 frames. But then if we pointed at each other, it was like we both had the same version in terms of frame rate. So that got me worried in the beginning. So I'm wondering how, you know, since that was just a digital game, like how other games that are physical would benefit off of it. So it remains to be seen. I need to try other games with game share.
I think that might just be an issue with transmission, with interference and other things. I'd be very curious to see how that works, or actually, I might even be able to test the signal and see what it's outputting and see what the strength is.
Because it hated it in my game room. Because if we both pointed at the TV, like, or if we both just pointed this way,
mm-hmm.
his Switch one was bad. But if we pointed at each other, we were perfect.
Yeah, the Switch 1 had issues with wireless some, so I wonder if that kind of added to it, because it was very directional with it when it would work. Because I remember they used to have the Bluetooth problem with the Joy-Cons every once in a while too. But I'd like to test it out. But I like the fact that at least that is there as an option, because that was something that was great on the DS and 3DS that I'm glad they finally brought back for Switch 2 and kind of reversed it for Switch 1, at least because it gave you another use for that system.
Yeah.
Basically became a secondary screen. But there's a lot of games that are coming out that I'm looking forward to. I've played so many of them, like actual Switch 1 titles. I've just dove through a bunch of them, and I love how those actually play now. And it's kind of fun, like Nier Automata. I've been messing with that because it runs so much better now. Like, just such an improvement. Funny thing is like Xenoblade Chronicles X runs better running the Switch 1 version with the boost mode than it does the Switch 2 version, which has got a terrible... I don't know what they completely fucked that one up, but don't get it. Just stick to the Switch 1 and play it that way. So, all right. Chase, I know you haven't had much time to play yours, but you kind of talked about the games you've already played. I know you're looking forward to Fire Emblem, which hopefully we'll see something about next week. But you haven't really played it too much right now because Shinoa's been playing
I
it.
can say he's got He's got Star Fox. He's got Fire Emblem.
That's right. You've been playing Donkey Kong Country Returns.
He's got his Donkey Kong, and especially since they just load faster and run better, I can just say, Chase, like, get back into playing like Advance Wars.
Advance Wars is great.
I do need
Definitely try out War Grooves 1 and 2. It's a dual pack now. That even has co-op. That if you like Advance Wars, it's the fantasy version of it.
Yeah,
we still have that Minecraft style game that's supposed to be down in Australia that
Dinkum.
I picked up. Dinkum, yeah, we were going to play that. I think it runs better on Switch 2 now.
Yeah,
so that's one we can mess around with, and we can actually use chat now while we play.
And for some reason, Chase, there is a new Gungrave on the Switch, regular Switch.
Okay.
Might run better on the Switch too. I don't know, but I keep seeing it called. I think this one's just Gungrave OD instead of Overdose. But there's like so many editions of it, and I'm curious to know if it's better or not. I'll be getting it soon.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that one. Yeah, I mean, definitely the games I'm looking forward to is obviously Star Fox in the near future. Fire Emblem's probably still like a year or two away. So,
I could see them
coming out this September
this year. Yeah, I could see that doing that.
September. We're definitely gonna have to have some shakeup. There's gonna be some people that are like, I don't know if September looks so good now, guys.
Is Fire Emblem a big enough pull that if it launched at the same time as GTA 6, you would get that if you had to choose?
So
Jason's like, fuck.
So Shanoa's getting GTA 6.
Doesn't. You can't cheat and have her get the game. I said you.
I'm not planning on getting GTA 6. Like I'll let her get GTA 6, and then I've already told her just get it physical, and then I'll borrow your copy later down the line.
That makes sense. You live together.
Because I was just like, I don't actually. The GTA games, while fun, I've never necessarily been like, oh my god, new GTA is coming out. Like I've just never been that type of person. Like,
yeah, I
was literally said she's like, I'm gonna take days off of work. Like I'm gonna put in some vacation time.
Like I was starved for those type of games back in the 360 era, but now there's like you've said, there's way too many open world things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I gotta pick my battles. I own and I still haven't played at all, even installed it, GTA 5. So I will not be getting GTA 6 until I even do anything with GTA 5.
I had fun with 5. I spend more of the time, I'll mess with some of the story and I like exploring, but anyways, that's
the best thing about 6 is people can say like, all this happens and this guy dies, and I'll be like, cool, I don't know what you're talking about, and it won't spoil me.
Right.
Yeah, like Shanoa's hanging out for GTA 6. She absolutely loves the GTA games, just because she likes to just like mess around in them and like, you know, like just run over random people and stuff and just have fun. And
yeah, just the arcadiness of it.
Yeah, and which is perfectly great. I've never necessarily been like I said, never been the person that's been like, oh my god, a new GTA is coming out. So for me, I would buy Fire Emblem over GTA. It's just simple for me.
Nice.
But yeah, I think
you chose right, sir.
But yeah, I'm curious to see, like, with all these announcements, that September's a bloodbath. Some of these guys are going to look at September and be like, you know,
I want Nintendo to buck the trend and be like, we're going to release our game against GTA 6. I want
that would be so bad. That'd be crazy. But like,
that'd be hilarious.
It would be hilarious.
I know
they're like, you're going to get it. I know
the games are different enough that it's going to be just two different audiences.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I don't necessarily think that. Like, I don't necessarily think that people really see. Like, I don't think Koei Tecmo's worried about Dynasty Warriors 3 losing sales because it's a very.
They're more evergreen.
Game.
Yeah, they're more evergreen. Also, they're meant for long term. Which I know GTA 6 is going to be absolutely ridiculous for what it sells, but it'll have its big fireworks moment, and then most of the people will get it immediately, and it kind of dies down, and people get other stuff as they play those. And that's one of those games, just like Call of Duty or Madden. That might be the only game some people get for an entire system, and that's the whole generation. They just want to play those games. That's it. So it's not going to matter one way or the other. They're not losing sales to it. That's all they were going to get. So, yeah. All right, last thing I want to touch on real quick then is just kind of give it a letter grade, I guess, for the first year of the Switch 2. And do you think it's going to last longer because of this hardware shortage possibly making PS5 and Series X have to last longer as well? Like, will it be able to kind of be that magical footing to continue? So, Steven?
I think not only that, it's still priced the lowest. So people who balked up the price in the beginning are now biting their tongue because now if you want a PS5 Pro, it's $900. But I think the fact that even some big prolific developers, even like Ken Levine, are saying like, there's diminishing returns. Like we can make cutscenes look better,
Yeah.
but we can't. There's a certain like wall we're hitting right now that would cost too much if we want games to look totally super, hence the pun, unreal.
Mm-hmm.
So he just said because of games like that, he's just like, you're going to see like stuff just that you can play on the Switch too easily. So there's going to be this, this plateau where everybody gets comfy. And some of the best selling games right now are on Switch 2 or are just made by a couple people. They're not these AAA games. AAA games are starting to falter because it's like, I waited this many years to come out and I already played 6 games like it, because you're trying to put too much into it, so to speak. And GTA 6 can take as long as it wants because it's GTA 6 and it's sold over 225 million copies with 5. So it's the second best-selling video game next to Minecraft. And it's gone through 3 console generations. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. What would be your letter grade for the first year of the Switch 2?
If I had to give it something right now, it's I think I'm gonna just give it a B because there's still not even just personally, but there's still a negative stigma when it comes to keycard versus full release that they have to get past. The fact that people don't know that exists and has existed for years on Xbox and PlayStation, but is just now putting it in the Nintendo realm and kind of just saying, "Oh, I definitely don't want this game. I'll just get it for PS5." And I'm like, but it's the same way on PS5.
It makes you wonder, like, would people rather if Nintendo had just not said anything like Xbox and PlayStation don't, and they just blindly buy it? Or are they more upset because Nintendo's being clear and upfront about it, saying this is what the case is?
If I had to guess, it's because they know it's a portable. So unlike the other 2 systems, which you cannot take everywhere, the storage is somewhat finite in the terms of you can just plug in hard drives to your PS5 and your Series X, but you cannot plug in extra stuff to your Switch 2 yet to make it have more memory.
Yeah, even with those, it's not playable. It still has to be a high-speed particular.
And because this is supposed to be a hybrid system, I think that's something that that's why some people are like, I can't get behind game key card.
Yeah,
because they're looking into I don't know how far into the future they're looking, but they're like, what if the server shut down one day? And I was just like, well, Switch 1 is still up. So is it going to be in your lifetime? We don't know.
True. Chase, what about you? Your letter grade and your thoughts on the longevity of this system?
I give it so for the first year, I don't know. I give it a B. Like, I think and the only reason why I'm saying that is because I'm not saying it in a mean-spirited way, because I think what it is I think it's on the up, and I think it's going up. I think it's on an upward trend. So I think that B's going to become an A. Like, rather soon.
After the first year, you can tell that they've been getting a lot of dev kits out, because in the beginning they did not.
I think it's gonna last, and I think it'll go for a while. I would be surprised though if Nintendo isn't maybe looking at, like, once all this hardware stuff gets like sorted out, potentially looking at maybe pushing it further, and maybe because particularly with like portable gaming, like with these portable consoles, because even portable like the handheld gaming PCs, the sales have gone up, and the portability aspect is attracting people. And so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Nintendo, once the hardware starts to look, if they're not looking at like, well, maybe how can we push this even further, and potentially, with either maybe not necessarily a new generation but maybe we'll see.
Yeah, 'cause when it comes to power, even when Steam Deck up their prices, sold out. I know the MSI Claw just came out, which is like $1,200. We'll see if that takes off or sells out or anything like that. They said the Steam machines are supposed to release this summer now,
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens there.
those are going to be so expensive.
Steam Deck
But the
2s,
fact that
we haven't heard anything
the
yet
fact that on how fast these things sell out, that you might be right. They might just be like, what else can we do? Because price might not matter if they can just tweak the performance a little bit more and charge more money, and then people will be like, I want that one too.
So for myself, just to get the letter grade out of the way, I would also give it a B, just because it is a huge improvement over what they did with the Switch, which they managed to bring that up. But I'm also really happy with the fact that the gap between the other consoles and the Switch 2 is so much smaller than it used to be. And I know people will sit there and argue, oh, well, I can play this game at 60 FPS here, or I can do this in 4K. And it's like, yeah, but you can't pick it up. You can't walk off with it. It's, you can't just go sit on the couch and play it without having to go buy another piece of equipment like the portal, and then make sure your Wi-Fi is running correctly and, work with that. It just works.
Portal, I feel like you guys are being a little unfair on, but that's a discussion for another day.
I have the Portal.
I
literally went to a different island and I could use that thing perfectly fine.
It would make a good frisbee to throw once, and then it would still suck at its job.
The only way you can make the Portal worse is if you played God of War Laufey on it.
I played God of War Sons of Sparta. It ran perfectly fine. But yeah, I feel like you guys are a little unfair on that thing, because it's been nothing but a fantastic.
I still have it, and I know what I want to use it for, and if it can't handle that, then I'm going to call my service provider and yell at them saying, you guys suck at Wi-Fi.
Well, he's just going to use the stand I printed for him, and now it's a new mirror in his bathroom. It's a really good mirror that he can pick up.
It was my ZZZ player in bed. It was great.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, the future of the system, I think it does have a bit of a longevity. Like I said, with the hardware restrictions and everything going on, the PS5 and the Series X, even if they do push a new generation out, the cost on those is so much further out than many people can afford. Like, if those new systems come out, even I'm going to have to stop and be like, I don't know if I need to get this right now. Even though we're now in the generations where if you don't get it, it's only going to become more expensive, which is just terrible. Do you want to get it now to try and be cheaper than later, but then have the lesser hardware? Because that's the one thing, like the Switch and the OLED didn't change much for how they ran. Like, it didn't like magically make all the games a lot better. And that's one thing I didn't really like about, like, I have a PS5 original launch model, but now everything they show off to show me has got to be a PS5 Pro or some other big version of it. And it's like, it's great you're running a higher version of it, but it's almost $1,000 if I want to actually play like that. And I don't know what it looks like on my PS5 now. Like, I'm going to have to see what they run like, and I don't know. And I prefer the consistency of it. I don't see Nintendo chasing specs like that. They're going to keep down to better efficiency, longer battery life, cheaper production if they can, just to save money and cost on it, while maintaining what they've got. We might see an OLED version eventually. I would like to see Joy-Cons that actually have different colors instead of just being the inside. Like, that's neat and all, but I want this part to have a color too. Like, let me modify that. But yeah, I guess that's kind of my thoughts on the Switch 2 for now. But this has been a hell of an episode. We've had a lot to talk about. It's 3.5 hours. Good job, gentlemen. So let's wrap that up. All right. Well, like I said, this has been episode 223 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. If you're listening to the audio version of this and you'd like to watch the video version, follow us over at youtube.com/ZenspathCom. Drop us a thumbs up, subscribe to get the episodes when they come through, and just drop a comment below. What was your thoughts or answer the big question below in a comment. What were your thoughts on the first year of the Switch 2? What games did you enjoy? What other features did you like? You know, how long do you think the system's going to last? Things like that. If you're watching the video and you want the audio version, wherever you get your podcast, just search for Zenspath Podcast or Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast to find us there. Leave us a review. Let us know over on our Discord, which you can find at zenspath.com, which also has links to all the video and audio versions, articles we work on, and other things. The Discord is always the easiest and fastest way to talk to us. We've got people that reach out and talk to us there all the time, which is a lot of fun. We'd love to get suggestions, comments, or questions for the show that we can answer. I think that'd be a fun segment if we could ever get enough of those kind of going. We could throw a guest question every week, maybe, just to kind of expand it out. I think you guys would have fun with that, right?
Reader mailbag.
Yeah, or whatever we want to call it. Probably reader
Why
mailbag.
does Majora's Mask suck so much? Well, I can answer that.
Oh, God.
It
I'll
was
have it
probably
delivered
him that
next
sent in the mail, to be fair.
Why is No Man's Sky and No Man's Buy? Well, I can answer that.
I've bought it multiple times. I'll buy it again. Keep making those games. They're
One
fucking
man's
fantastic.
Why should you avoid God of War of the Fae? I can answer that.
God, it's because you have no taste. All right. I think it's a good time to end this. So, yep. This is episode 223, and we're out. Peace.
Make the switch.
This has been a production of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast by the staff at zenspath.com. The show is created and edited by Jeremy Powers. You can find the video edition of the show on our YouTube channel at ZenspathCom. The audio edition is located wherever you find your podcasts. Links to all versions of the show, as well as to our Discord where you can talk with us directly, is located at www.zenspath.com. Please leave us a like, thumbs up, comment, and review where you can to help us grow.